Asherato. It's Asherato, going worldwide. Now call me up and we'll talk for a while. You wanna keep it simple and hear the tea? Believe me, this is the place to be. Excuse you, you crazy for real. Excuse you, you crazy for real. Real chicas say word, Asherato.
What's up?
Whoa, what's up?
Or not.
It's the remix.
It's Sherato on the Asherato Show right here on WLVS, listenvisionlive.com. Here tonight with my co-host, Grindstone.
Happy New Year.
Our producer, the Urbanista.
Hey, hey.
Our controversial commentator, Kevin Lance Murray.
What up? It's so cold, my glove needs gloves. You dig?
And our special guest tonight from One Love Massive, Molly Rulin.
What up?
Welcoming you back to the show because you've been on the show a few times now.
That's
and
right.
I think you like it the more controversial, the better, right?
Pretty much.
So tonight we're talking about the whole Bill Cosby crimes thing and the sexual entitlement of powerful men. And now this is really near and dear to my co-host, Grindstone. And he's really going to go in on this tonight because we have very opposing views on certain perspectives.
I just don't know how we are opposing each other, but I'm ready. I'm down for the beat.
Are you
But I
ready
don't
to
even know.
rumble?
Well, hey, if you can rumble with reason, then go for it.
Bill
Well,
Cosby, though. What?
We want to call...
Comedian? What happened?
Oh, well, so for those of you who are just out on a furlough and didn't get a chance to...
Didn't get a chance 40 years.
didn't get a chance to know
Right.
what was really going on in the world. Comedian, entertainer, surrogate father to the most. Bill Cosby has been arrested for charges on sexual crimes, where he used pills and influence.
That's HD.
Where he used pills and other influence to violate women allegedly, as well as cover up the exposure that the story's got with his power.
Huh.
Yeah.
But people knew about him being a creep for a minute, right? It's been like a thing in the industry, you know?
But
That's what I'm hearing.
you know, in the industry, it doesn't count because he has juice.
No, what I mean is other comedians, for example, have said, oh, everybody knows that about Bill Cosby. I know D.L. Hughley, some others. And Hannibal Buress, the comedian, was the one that really brought it to light like a couple years ago in a stand-up thing. But it seems like everyone knew about this to some degree.
I think it's pre-social media. You
Yeah.
know, knowing about Bill Cosby's discretions in the 80s is drastically different than, like, by noon seeing it 400 times on your social media feed. You know, like, you can't escape the information now. But it's definitely not new information, just, I think, new to the general public.
Yeah.
Well, we want to hear from our audience tonight, so hit us up on social media at Asherato and call us 202-758-8607. We want to hear from you. It's going to get heated in here tonight.
Yeah, I see where
Really? You
I
think
see where
so?
I have the problem.
What are the points of contention? Like, he was raped? Like, he was...
Okay, so we're talking about.
You were there.
Well, no. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
you mean,
Were you there when he was raping?
no, I said...
Or what do you mean?
I think you're shooting missiles at me before you know my position. I was saying, what are the points of contention? He raped and drugged women. Like, I'm saying he did it. I'm saying it right.
Well, this is what it
I'm
is.
saying he did it. So what is the issue?
Well, no, this is what it is. He did do it.
Yes.
He is saying that they were okay with it. So, like, the rape comes in and them not being okay with it. But he's saying, yeah, we had sex, and, you know, I stuck my finger in her, and, you know.
I moved her lifeless body around the bed while
He
she
said
drooled
lifeless,
out of
though?
her mouth, and her eyes were dead because she was completely drugged passed out and lifeless.
Well, he didn't use those words, but
But that's
used,
what he did. So
Right.
let's just think about
Well,
that for a minute.
Well, it was
like,
a different time. People were I'm just gonna play devil's advocate, but people were voluntarily taking Quaaludes at this time.
people
but-
voluntarily take ecstasy every day. It still
But I
doesn't
mean,
mean you get
Quaaludes
to
are
rape
some
somebody.
shit that made you.
but he has year 2000 charges.
Yeah. So
does.
this case is from 2004. Is that right?
Yeah.
And it's saying that he said that he gave her Benadryl.
I know he had a
Yes,
line
he
on
said
his drugs.
he said that the most recent case, he said he gave her a Benadryl. She disputes that.
Okay, and she was not. He says she was not feeling well. He gave her Benadryl,
Mm-hmm.
and then he touched something. Like there was no penetration.
And it's all in the notes, but she, from what I remember,
She came on his
correctly,
hand.
there was so many stories that she felt his penis. She remembers
Yeah.
feeling his penis and then kind of being disoriented and waking up. Like,
But
Are you talking about the most recent one?
Yeah.
the one that he's charged with, the one that he got.
Well, they have like a long-term relationship. Like he came on to her twice,
con
and she turned
strand
him
lady.
down, and then she went to his house because he was building her up to be like, hey, I'm gonna boost you up in the industry,
Yeah,
like
make you a star.
I'm your mentor, you know, and pushing it that way. And then she came over and she was upset about something. She was like, take this to relax. And so she was kind of in and out of it the whole time. So like she has like
So
memories of different
he told her
things.
to take this to relax, and she took it.
And then like immediately, right? These like blue. He claimed they were little blue herbal pills.
That's what that's what she said. He said, and he said that they were Benadryl, and she thought they were herbal. That's what she was saying. So there's like some.
Them herbs knocked her out.
So does she have any responsibility in this for taking some random pills
That's
that
a trick question.
some
Okay,
mentor gave her?
from like a level of what is right and what is wrong, no, she doesn't have any liability or any she didn't do anything wrong. You know what I mean? If you gave me some pills, you're like, Kevin, it's.
Well, it's kind of like a kid taking
Really?
candy from a dude
I
in the
would
truck.
take it, but then if those pills then made me pass
A
out, I
kid.
wouldn't expect you to pull
Because
my
she's
pants
doing
down.
well, pants
No,
You know what I'm
down.
saying? It's the same thing where like you would tell your kid, don't take candy from a stranger. You would
Don't
tell an
take-
adult,
Well,
don't
that's
take
pills.
pills
Well,
that
that's my
aren't in the.
question.
But he wasn't.
but he wasn't a stranger. He's your friend.
And he's Dr. Huxtable.
Well, make sure you open the package yourself.
I mean,
Did you
you would
really
say
think
that
about
now.
all that?
I'm sorry, Courtney.
I'm saying going
Urbanista.
forward-
if you give me some blue pills,
I ain't
Yeah.
I'm not taking it. And I love you.
The
and
dick
I
might get
trust
hard.
you.
But that's
But
because
if you're
you're
not a
wild.
pill taker also, so I
Yeah.
feel like it'd be different to me. And
So
I'm
she's
like,
a
if
pill
I
taker now.
no, I'm not saying she is a pill taker. I'm trying to give you an
Are you the
analogy. Like
prosecutor or
if
the
I was to
defendant?
pour you,
I'm both.
if I was to pour you a drink and I told you something that you normally drink and have no problem with, you trust me enough to know that I'm not like if I say, oh, what do you like to drink? I don't know.
Right.
Salsa, and I make you a drink, and I'm like, oh, here, take this. It's salsa. You're gonna not be like, are you sure it's salsa?
Nah,
Is
yeah,
it really?
exactly.
Because all you see
I
it
didn't
being
see
is
the
clear and
bottle.
white. You're not gonna be like, well, I didn't see you pour it.
I think salsa is a little bit different than two pills.
Well,
blue
I
pills,
will,
though.
I will say that when I was a young man, you know, and you would just take whatever pills were around. And I remember this one specific time.
But you trying to have a good time.
Yeah, my friends were like, here's some pills. I was like, what's this? They're like, just don't worry, just take it, you know? And then it was Imodium AD, and I had a situation. So, but that was funny to them, and I was in the culture of taking pills at the time. So I feel like we have to look at this through the lens of like the culture. If there was a pill culture, because it seems like.
So
and
she
I know
was in a
Bill
pill culture.
I don't know, but I mean, Bill Cosby's a wild dude. Like he talks about drugging women in his comedy. Like he alludes to it in the Cosby Show in certain episodes. With like sauce, you ever heard about that barbecue sauce episode?
We got that
It's
coming
like,
up.
Okay, but at the same time, I feel like some of this occurred in an era where like pills were going around. He is a
Well, let me
rapist. I just don't think all 50. I think like most of them are probably true, but maybe some of them aren't. But most of them are.
Well, when
so
you have
should go
when you have a
down.
number like that,
Like
like it's an
50?
incredible number of people. Yeah.
50 is a lot.
Some of them are lying. Some of them are telling the truth.
Yeah. I think
The
more
ones that
than
are telling
half
the truth, that's the problem.
What do you mean problem?
He shouldn't have done it. He shouldn't have done that shit. That's
Okay.
a problem.
So how did he get to a place where he thought? Because obviously there's something he
Well,
does
let me
on the
tell you.
regular.
Okay, now look. All right, it's 2 men, 3 women, and a bunch more women in the world listening.
Yeah, call us up, ladies.
Men don't know what rape is until now, unless this shit was violent.
And the
Now look.
jail, like jail.
Unless it's violent. Now look.
What?
Yeah.
No, we don't know. We don't
Listen.
understand rape and the fear of rape
Right,
and the
can-
constant. you know
No,
what I'm saying?
No, look, even the legal definition of rape, because
That is?
no, like in college, okay, in college, there are lots of dudes, high school and college, and then the losers after that.
Yeah.
Who wait around for the drunkest girl who's like, and then they don't have consent, but she might wake up with her drawers pushed to the side.
I thought that was like
That's rape.
waiting for
That's
rape.
what I'm saying.
Ripeness.
She didn't-
I
That's
thought
rape.
that wasn't rape. I thought that was ripe, like when it's ripe.
Exactly.
When I was a young kid, we'd be like, yo, let's go out 1:30. We gotta wait till
Exactly,
1:30
but
when
the-
they good and ripe. We would literally say that to
And
each
therein
other.
lies the entire problem.
Yeah.
We live in a culture that is like 100% rape culture, where there is no
It's
accountability with
rapey.
men.
It's rapey.
Easy for you to say.
Because even in that situation when I was like going out like that, I still didn't want because I was drunk too.
And
right?
you would go
I
out
would
at
want a
1:30
girl-
with a suit on.
Yeah, I would be fresh. But I would still want a girl that was
That's
like
gross, Kevin.
It's
That's
not. I was
absolutely gross.
22. But I'd be drunk as shit too, and I'd look for a girl that was like on the.
You weren't
level.
drunk
And
that
I'm
drunk.
not
You put
looking
a
like
suit
trying to
on.
get a joint like this. I'm not a necro. I ain't no necro. You dig?
Bill Cosby is.
Like one of these. I don't want one of these. I want like this girl. Like,
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you. Like,
Are you sure she was drunk or
Hey, look.
she was something else?
couldn't dance.
I don't
As
know.
a man who is in circles where men have spoken in confidence, a lot of the stories that men have told me where we're like, yo, you wild. Now with like the conversation going on now, I'm like, yo, you raped her.
You're a rapist.
Like straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
But like rape isn't always violent. And it's a violent sounding word. But it's not always violent. So like a lot of men don't even know that they're raping somebody. They think they're seducing them, or they think they got lucky because
Right.
they got the opportunity.
Yeah.
But they didn't get consent. She wasn't with that shit. She was just like out. Or she was just tired. She just like gave in to you just being like,
Persistent
come on,
and
come
bigger
on.
than
Oh
her.
well, I'm too sleepy to go home. Or I'm too sleepy
yeah,
to take you
yeah,
home.
yeah.
That one. Like one thing that people used to do, they still do it, but you got to be like probably 20 and under. But like they'll have somebody over the crib. Y'all will be drinking.
Yeah.
Got to play a drinking game that you're good at, right? So then she's drunk.
Yeah.
Then what happens? The night goes by. You try stuff. It don't work. It don't work.
She's shutting it down.
But then you're too tired to go home. Now I'm telling for all the people who have a girl or a son in college, this is something that's going on in one of the houses that they visit on the weekends where the party's popping. Somebody's too tired to go home.
Or too drunk to go home.
Right. The drinks get to them. Man, I'm going to sleep here. I'm going to sleep here. I'm going to sleep here. Somebody is riding up on somebody's ass that night,
Yep.
and the person don't know. The drawers are getting moved to the side.
Yep.
Somebody's getting their dick wet.
That's
and they
true.
think they had a lucky night, but they raped somebody.
Yeah.
They do not realize they
That's
raped
that
somebody.
passive rape.
I
And
think a lot of dudes think rape is like grabbing a chick in an alley and pulling
Yeah.
her in the
Yeah.
bush.
With a
the
knife.
violence
With a
of it.
knife.
Yeah.
Right. And it's
I'm gonna
like,
show you.
It's actually, happens all the time.
And
It's unconsented sex.
And if she goes to the hospital and be like, "Yo, this shit happened," the police will come to the dude and be like, "We got to talk to you about this rape." He will be 100% confused about what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
rape.
He'd be like, what are you talking about? We were kicking it.
So, well,
at
let's
Joe's
talk
house."
about that a little. Let's
Yeah.
suppose that you were the man in either of you were the men in this situation. You were supplying the alcohol or the drugs, and the only difference is that she's technically consenting to it because she's taking it, right? She took it from you.
Yeah.
So whatever happens after that point is that not rape anymore?
Well, no, she's consenting to drinking and drugging,
Right.
The partying.
but she might not be consenting to the sex.
So, what both of you are saying is you've never been in a position before where you've supplied the alcohol and the drugs that they consented to, but then
And the drugs. Look at this one.
No, I've
Whatever
never
it
seen a
is.
drug in my life.
Look at you too, just like
Like, I don't know
whatever,
nothing about
alcohol
no
or
drugs.
drugs or both,
We've been
where
sipping honey.
where the woman has consented to it, but then didn't necessarily consent to the sex. But you had sex with her. She may not have been
Okay, so
passed
now
out.
you want to talk about
Wait,
giving out
wait.
drugs and
Are you a druggie?
She
Right
may, she may have not passed all the way
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
but she was down that line.
yeah, she's like, all right, like that.
and
sort of.
and you didn't ask her and she didn't say yes, but you had sex with her. So did you guys rape her?
Well, lucky for this hypothetical, I'm not a necro. I like a lot of movement in my sexual encounters.
Yeah,
I
Bill
it to
Cosby
be
like that
athletic.
sleepy pussy.
Yeah, he like that sleepy
But what if,
stuff.
what if it wasn't
Give me that
necessarily
stuff
she was
that
passed
sleepy
out? It just
I
But
mean,
she didn't know what was going on. She's like,
Well,
And
That's
then,
bad.
It depends. If I'm in the same situation, and I'm talking about youthful indiscretions, but if I'm in the same situation and I'm like, bah! And she's like, bah! And they're like,
Then y'all raped each other.
and that. But I mean, for me, I don't really remember everything in those days, but I remember there being situations where girls accused dudes of rape. It happened fairly regularly.
Yeah.
But it never got to like any level of any consequences or charges
Accountability.
being pressed. So I mean, I know me and my friends were like worried about getting accused because it wasn't cool. I mean, I know that doesn't sound right, but it wasn't cool to get accused of being raped, so I try not to rape.
This is really
makes any
interesting.
sense.
And while we marinate on this new information, we'll be right back on the Ash Sharado Show.
Whether you're interested in buying or selling a home, there's no bigger decision than choosing the person who will represent you during the transaction. A qualified, experienced real estate professional makes all the difference by helping you navigate the many decisions that arise when buying, selling, or leasing a property. At RE/MAX Sky Real Estate, our agents have the experience, expertise, and drive to help you find that perfect property. RE/MAX Sky is here for you if you're purchasing your first home, searching for a luxury home, or looking for commercial space. As the first luxury RE/MAX collection office in the district, we offer specialized services to clientele focused on purchasing luxury real estate. We're dedicated to delivering outstanding service and results you can count on. Contact RE/MAX Sky today to get started, or visit us online at www.remax-skyre.com to learn more about how an experienced real estate professional can assist you. Serving Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. RE/MAX Sky. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
Would you revoke the Medal of Freedom from Bill Cosby?
There's no precedent for revoking a medal. We don't have that mechanism. And as you know, I tend to make it a policy not to comment on the specifics of cases where there might still be, if not criminal, then civil issues involved. I'll say this. If you give a woman, or a man for that matter, without his or her knowledge, a drug, and then have sex with that person without consent, that's rape. And I think this country, any civilized country, should have no tolerance for rape.
We're back on the Ash Sharado Show right here on WLVS,
We're not all the way
listenvisionlive.com. We're kind of back.
Close.
Ooh, I like that.
Call us 202-758-8607. We want to hear from you. We're talking about Bill Cosby and the sexual entitlement of powerful men. Now, we just saw that Obama video, and the bottom line is our president pretty much thinks that if it's not consented sex, it's rape.
Yeah, I think that kind of piggybacks on some of the points that Grindstone and Kevin, everyone at the table were kind of talking about, with drugs and alcohol and not having that consent. I mean, you really running a very thin line between rape and what could be.
But shout out to Barack, and I mean, it's only a matter of time until after his presidency over that his mixtape comes out. But I think that as far as consent, like obviously you want to get consent and everything, but isn't it obvious? Like, I don't know. I've never been in a situation where I was with a girl and been like, oh, does she want to do this? It's pretty clear usually if she's like actively participating, communicating, maybe talking dirty, guiding you somewhere, doing the things that make you know that she's into the things that you're doing. Like, I feel like this topic, I mean, it's very important, but I thought it was like hella obvious, like what consent looked like. Like a woman, well,
I think that's the extreme end of things. But what we were talking about before the break is maybe the not so extreme end of things. It's the, oh, we were partying, we were doing drugs together, or, you know, drinking alcohol together and getting drunk, and I didn't scream and say no.
Yeah.
But you knew I was out of it enough, and you proceeded to try to have sex with me. So that's where the line of consent is blurred, in my opinion. You know, it's like there's the extreme part of that, but then there's a blurred part of that as well. And if we talk about that blurred line, how do you differentiate that?
Well, you know what? There's a law, and I'm not sure if it's a rule or a law. I'm not sure if it's a rule in some colleges or a law in certain states. I can't remember, but it's something that cannot be defined. I mean, like, you can't never prove it in court, but the person has to say yes before you have sex. Almost like a verbal contract.
Like,
the person
do you
has
want to do this?
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, that never happens.
I agree,
I think
but
it
but
will start happening now.
It's something that's gonna like have people. It's like one of those things that's just there, so people are conscious of the fact that the person is with it, and it's a crime if they aren't.
Because I don't think that it necessarily shouldn't happen. I mean, again, I think it's tricky. But I think about people who I know who've been in situations where they've said no, but because they're under the influence of something, maybe they're like, no, and then finally they went ahead and did it.
Sometimes no is yes, but it's not.
No,
okay, that's
I don't think no is really
inappropriate
yes.
joke.
No, but no sometimes
it
turns
is.
into yes.
Like, no.
But why does it
like,
turn into yes?
Kevin.
Because
of
stuff
the
is
added pressure from the dude.
no, because
Right,
stuff is happening.
absolutely.
No,
I never do
Yeah,
this.
but
I'm not
it's
like
because you're
this.
keeping
'Cause you're
on and doing
continuing
that.
and you're not
continuing
stopping.
that.
Okay,
And
well
we're
that sounds like
we're
seduction.
We're not programmed, taught, raised, or convinced to ever say no.
To,
We are always told, like, don't make a big noise, like, just
Who's
be
we? Like
submissive.
women?
as
Women.
Absolutely, 100%.
Really?
I've been told no hell
Yeah.
of
100%. And
I
I'm not
think so.
talking about, like, specifically in sexual situations. In
Generalizing.
general,
Yeah.
we will be the first ones to put our heads down, to take care of things, to stay quiet, don't make a mess, don't be emotional, don't be extra, don't be all these things. So if a man, whether you're under the influence or not, I mean, I think every woman out there could recall a time when she had sex with a dude she wasn't super into, and she was sober because just the persistence, the guilt. Oh, I did this, I did that, I did, and like at some point you will back down. So if you are under any sort of influence, it's gonna happen even easier. And
But
there
I
are
think
dudes
social
that are,
pressure, like somebody, like if you get socially pressured, not threatened, but pressured, I don't think that's rape.
what do you mean socially pressured?
Like if you like, damn, I don't want him to hate me later, so fuck it, I'll do it. Like I don't think that's rape. I think that's
like psychological
That's trying to be
rape or
down.
something.
No, but what it is, it's part of the
That's
rape
true.
culture. It's just part of the rape culture, because here's what happens. If
What do you mean
say
rape
that
culture, though? What about
like,
this
what's
term, rape
happening right
culture?
now? Like, if you say that you were raped, you were automatically like, well, what were you wearing? Why were you there?
That's
What
always
did you
been
drink?
happening.
There's the reason why, like, to you, it seems really obvious that you're not raping a woman or you are raping a woman is because of the rape culture, because it's so dismissed.
The
It's not
acceptance of
acknowledged.
certain
It's not
behaviors
held
from men.
accountable. Like, dudes are not holding other dudes, like, men are not raising their children to be like, that's inappropriate, that's not okay. So we have this culture that's been built up. So for you, it might seem really obvious, but for a lot of
And
people,
especially
it's
the
not.
video hoe culture and what
What's
goes
the video
on.
whole culture?
Oh, come on.
You
Like,
could-
what's all over? I mean,
Put a
what's
Molly all up in a
all
drink.
over-
She ain't even know it.
But that
Tyga talking,
one song.
dating a 14-year-old.
That's
or
one
16-year-old.
song?
He said she could sing.
He didn't date her. Let's not speculate on Tiger's business. Tiger's got it messed up. Tiger Woods, Tyga. Like, you need to change your name. Stop messing
Just
with
don't
that
even
name.
be talking about no stripes.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean, I don't know if he didn't have sex with a 14-year-old.
No, he
No,
did
but
not.
I mean,
He
the
contacted her.
Kardashian. He was dating a Kardashian.
At
Some R.
17.
Kelly and Aaliyah shit
Yeah.
all over again.
Yo, but that's it.
You know, and his music lyrics, it says like, "Oh, she doesn't feel like a girl when I," like, no, it's absolutely 100% a rape culture.
Where, like, how is the culture different now than it was, and how is it worse now?
it's more
than it
visible
was
now.
60,
More
50,
visible. This
is
75
more
years
visible.
ago?
We have
Dudes
social
used
media.
To, dudes used to secret. There used to be secret rapes all the time. You would never hear about that. Women had no voice. You know what I'm saying?
Here's a good example. I was at a music festival this summer, 3-day camping festival, and I know some of the people that organize it, so I was privy to some information. Somebody in the camp raped somebody that he came with, right? A girl that he came with. A girl that drove him to the festival, right?
Okay.
We figured out what happened. A couple people intervened. Like, she came to the staff and said, this is what happened. They asked, what do you want us to do? You want us to get rid of him? She said, no, but I don't want to press charges, but can you make sure that he leaves, right? So they encouraged her to press charges, but she didn't want to. So I watched the whole situation. Not one of his friends was like, "Yo, dog, why the fuck is why is anybody accusing you of raping the girl that you drove with?" Like, nobody said anything.
Well, there's a real
Nobody
careful
said anything,
walk
and
around
it was
right?
clear that everyone knew that he had raped her. Everyone knew what had happened, and nobody said anything. In fact, his friends packed up and left early with him. So there is no accountability for these things, and that's why it continues to happen. And in fact, later on, he's gonna tell that story to his homie, and his homie's gonna say, "Yo, dog, you wild." And that's exactly
Maybe.
how we got
Very
into
true.
this situation.
Or maybe we got into the situation because of people being wrongfully accused. I'm obviously playing devil's advocate. I'm
Like
not-
Mike Tyson.
I just want to know, like,
I'm saying.
so I can't say it's never happened, but I find it really odd that there is actually, like, if a man is raped by another man, do you think men are volunteering and saying, "Hey, this dude raped me"?
Nobody wants
like,
to talk
No.
about being raped.
Nobody wants to
Male
talk.
or
So
female.
the idea
Yeah.
that people are just lying, women are just like. Now I'm not saying that none, where there are some are that just desperate, but so many women in general who come forward and say that they've been raped and told you're lying.
Yeah.
Like even the situation that Molly just gave. Like I'm sure maybe one of his friends was like, whatever, that bitch was lying or whatever, or he might have said that.
Probably.
No, dudes
But the
are out
idea
here
that
raping.
men really believe
Yeah,
there are
raping.
men who really believe that women will step up and say in front of whoever.
50 of them, no less. They just blanket. Oh, they all lying.
Yeah.
All of them?
All of them are
All
lying.
of
I mean-
them are lying. Like you have
No,
a
it's
character.
impossible, not all of them.
All right,
like,
do any of y'all know? Do any of y'all know a guy who raped somebody, but told you a story like it was cool?
Yeah.
Like I know a dude who I know
I
a
don't
dude.
my life is
yeah,
done.
women,
yeah,
no.
exactly.
I know a dude who used to-
Who's gonna
Molly
say that?
would
You
not
guys.
be
No.
No, because he didn't say
I'd be
because he
like,
didn't
sit
say
in the
he didn't say I raped her, but like the details of the story
No, they
was
wouldn't-
like,
they
yo,
wouldn't say that
what the
with
fuck?
us.
I've had,
And then I
that's 'cause
kicked her
you're
out.
women.
That's a
'cause you're
dude
women.
thing.
That's a
That's a
dude
dude
Yeah, that's
thing.
totally how. I mean, dudes like now you can't say faggot, nigga, rape. I mean, no, not like people ever say rape, but like it's certain shit that people are more sensitive to because of social media.
Yeah.
Right. But like when dudes had a hand, like just had their guards down, it's a lot of stuff that like is talked about, and when you examine that shit, that shit
that's
is
the problem.
rape.
I had a
but
friend-
like you'd be like, yo, that shit is crazy. Because I mean, I like one of.
What does the conversation sound
Give us
like?
an
though?
example.
Okay, this is what it sounds like.
Like locker room.
Okay.
on,
Kevin,
So-
feel free to have
so-
dialogue. And
no,
see.
well, no.
Like a dramatization.
Action.
Yes,
Would you
please.
like a
Please.
dramatization?
Okay,
Let me get
all right,
some-
now-
Pretend we're not here.
Imagine it's the all right. This
the
is the
world is
setting.
not listening.
Imagine
Sherrod
it's like,
Theater.
Emma, can I be the rapist?
You voluntarily went
all
that
right,
role.
I was gonna draw from personal experience of
Oh,
a conversation that I had. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So imagine it's like late '90s, 2000.
Okay,
Back
so-
when like
It's but back that ass up was like popping.
back when the Nexus
had your,
nightclub and all that was
you
open in
gotta
South
Throwback
Carolina.
jersey.
Yeah, right.
Throwback jersey on.
So you know back when it was rowdy over there near.
Death. That's death.
Okay.
No.
No.
Fresh.
Okay, so look. All right, so look. Back when like the stripper shit, like right before Making It Rain got it popping.
Okay.
But when the strip clubs were just grimy, but a place where people went.
All
All right, so so this is how it goes down. Man, last night, man, this shit was crazy. So I had this little section in Nexus, right? And these bitches love me. So like, because
I
I'm always
see you.
I'm tipping those bras.
That
you know,
money,
it's all
that
good,
money,
they
boy. I
come.
see you, boy. I see you.
Right.
Hey, tell me about the bitches, though. Tell me about the
So
bitches.
like,
Yeah.
DJ shouting me out and shit.
I see
I
you
got
up there.
love there, right? So
Oh,
I
for
wait till
sure.
the end of the night. This one girl I just been breading up all
Oh,
night.
she's seen you. She's seen you shining, player.
We talking about the late 90s, not late 70s.
That was my Steve Harvey. That was my Steve Harvey.
So hold up. So like, so they, I'm giving it to him. She come over, she give me the lap dance. I'm saying, let's bounce. So, I know, it's late night. I know them bitches is homeless. They don't
Oh,
be
yeah,
having
they
shit.
got no crib.
They
They
got
live
their hair
over in
done, but they don't have
Virginia.
nothing. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
So I take her, I take her to the crib, get her up out of there.
Yeah.
We at the crib. She like, damn, this yours. I'm
Oh
like,
my
yeah,
God.
fuck yeah, you bet that. These wood floors, mine. Got
Okay.
that. So
The tiles,
So we start
mine.
drinking. She started talking about she tired.
Oh, Lord. They always say that. Always tired.
Bitch, you don't sleep. You a
Wake
hoe.
up.
Right.
Fuck.
So I'm up here like, I'm up here. I done spent 300 or something.
Already 300 was dropped
Yeah.
previously. So you entitled, dog. You entitled.
It's mine. Right. So like, I'm just like, okay, it's cool. It's a long ass cab ride and cabs don't come around my neighborhood.
Hey, I ain't got no cab money left because of that 300.
Gentrification ain't hit yet.
Not yet.
Right.
Ain't no Uber in this time,
So
man.
I mean, what you want to do? You want to ride home?
Skateboard. What you gonna do?
Dude, go. So like, cabs ain't picking you up. What you gonna do? You know, you already know she don't have no family who's like really looking out for her. So I mean, you know, it's all good. I mean, she got the fat ass, she got the fat titties. Fuck that.
Both
You know, we have
of the
another
titties.
drink. We have another drink. She's talking about nah. And I'm like, come on, girl, you know you fucking
You
with
like-
it. I turn the lights down. Hey, she
Teddy
gave me
P.
the pussy.
Hey,
It
what
was
you put
all
on? Hey,
good.
what record you put on? You put on Teddy P? Did you put on the Teddy P?
Man, I don't even
Nigga,
know.
did you put on the Teddy P?
It was all good, and then
Okay.
and then next morning she like left talking about she mad and whatever.
Yeah.
Bitch, I don't need you. I'm back the next night. It's all good.
Okay.
That's how a conversation
And
goes
therein lies
down.
the problem. There was
Wow.
so much
Thank
like
you. Thank you.
that was ridiculous.
I've had those
I'm
conversations
sure
on the
you have.
receiving end.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have.
I have never given that because I never did that. But I know people who preyed on strippers and hookers back when DC was Chocolate
Had
City
those.
and it was grimy.
Yeah.
Like back before cameras and shit were everywhere. Like I know people who that was their get down.
Just like that cop in Nevada that just got busted for raping like 19 women, most of them black, most
Yeah.
of them poor, most of them unable to be believed or like helped or protected in any way, shape, or form. Just like Bill Cosby did to the women of color that he also raped. He used his influence and made sure, you know,
Yeah.
he wasn't out
It's
there.
a predatory thing because the
They seek
runaways,
their
the homeless,
victims.
yeah, like somebody who has nobody else to call, they become like the
target.
thing.
The savior.
Like the guy becomes a savior, you know, and he realizes that this girl is out of her comfort zone and the world is
And
his.
that's interesting you brought that point because I was talking to Sharada before the show, and one part of the deposition that I've in my research for today's show that was a quote, and I'm of course paraphrasing, but he was actually asked, Bill Cosby was asked, you know, how do you go about seeking women that you potentially want to sleep with? And he said I look for women who, you know, potentially might be looking for a way to get into the entertainment industry or have, you know, some type of low self-esteem or are looking for that type of thing.
The low-hanging fruit.
Exactly. He said that in a deposition that that's how he found women.
Well, I mean, a lot of guys do that.
I was going to say that how is that any different
pretty
than
normal.
many
Well,
men?
I mean, I just think that the fact that you are deliberately seeking that, it doesn't
Well,
make
you
you a
can-
rapist,
No,
but
it
it is questionable.
Like a
Skeevy as a
sociopath.
mug.
This makes you like
Yeah.
a slight sociopath.
What makes you weak is what it makes you.
Well,
it makes you weak.
well-
It means that your game is not strong enough that you can approach a
What-
woman and actually contain her, get her interest
Or-
her, and appeal to her. You know, it means your game is
This is a
super
20.
weak.
This is a 20. or it means that you're not ready to truly settle down with that Wonder Woman, that powerful woman that's going to be your partner. So you're looking for these
Jump offs.
jump offs. So you're like, I need a woman with low self-esteem so her lack of confidence will eventually be unattractive to me so I can get rid of her when I'm ready to have my real woman.
Wow,
that
is-
could
is
also
that-
be
And that
confidence.
is also still
That
like,
is-
absolute fear.
Is that real?
That's men
Yes.
being
Real?
afraid
Yeah.
of women. That's men
That's
being
men.
afraid of
so
women.
sad.
Why?
Well, go
That
meet
is
a man
sad.
and watch him think like that in the back of his mind, but he won't tell you. His eyes will say different.
It's still sad.
Why is that
It is
sad?
sad, because
What
you
if you
guys are
want to
so-
Women do the shit too, but it doesn't come in the form of sex.
we
It comes in
don't-
the form of
no.
spending.
No, we don't go looking
No.
for the dude with low self-esteem and
No,
very
yeah.
little.
I mean,
No, that's the
Women
opposite.
totally
That's the opposite.
do.
You look for the dude that's just like.
I don't
you
think
know,
that women
you know
look-
can mash off, and you know that he doesn't have a career.
No,
or
I
ambition,
think
but
it-
you
I
know
don't
that
think
he's a
that's
kid
the
who's a
case.
good
Time.
Right. You
No,
dig?
I don't think. But
Stella,
the
getting your
difference
groove
between I think the difference between the two, what you're trying to make the similarity between women and men is that I don't think women necessarily seek out. I gotta find me a broke dude that's gonna
Yeah.
be doing nothing with his life just so
No,
he can
no,
sleep
no.
with me
It may
really well.
just
No,
happen.
It
low-
may somebody like I have met someone before. And I'm like, oh, I really like him. Then I got to know him. I'm like, not really somebody I want to spend my life with.
Wait, are we
but
all gonna say
have
that we
fun.
don't know women who prey on men and they look for the weakest dude with bread?
I'm not saying that
They're all
there
over
are
the
not
world,
women
all
who
over the
seek
city.
for men who
that's-
have money, but
that's-
I don't know that
they-
that's.
They're out there, yes, but that's not like baseline.
That's
Like,
not a baseline, right.
That's
You're
not
saying it's
baseline.
baseline.
at
Yeah,
all.
that
No,
men do that.
I'm
on
not
the
saying
regular.
that
No, I'm
behavior
just saying
is
it-
baseline. I'm
it-
saying that some dudes go after the low-hanging fruit. That's not
No,
the
we just
foundation
you
of-
all just concurred that was like a regular thing.
Right.
not
At a certain point in your life when you're not ready
Yeah.
to
When
settle
you're not
down,
ready
which
to
is a
settle
lot
down.
of
Well,
times in a man's
No,
life.
I
Pretty
think
much
that is
all
regular.
that.
No, it's more like on a Wednesday, you're out and you see
Grindstone
this
says it's
joint.
regular.
It is totally
see
regular for a man to find low hanging fruit, as it is totally regular for a woman to wear bait to attract male low hanging fruit, so she can go have a good time
okay.
with
Let's
it.
talk
Bait,
about this.
bait,
So she
bait.
go have a good time.
That
You'll
sounds
spend
like a
up
whole
right
nother
quick.
show.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
totally.
mad? You
No,
mad? You
because
got
that
first?
goes into the whole. I mean, you were gonna have
Titties and money go together. Show the
Ooh.
titties, the money will pop up.
Ooh.
You're not gonna get too serious about this dude. He's gonna spend. Y'all gonna have a good time. Y'all go up to the Borgata. Y'all kick it. He spends more bread,
Ooh.
and then it's like
I
a rap. I ain't
don't-
calling
What y'all
it.
I
gonna
totally,
say now?
totally
That
disagree
totally
with
happens.
that.
I don't
Is this a rap
even.
video or real
Yeah.
life?
No, it's real life.
Are
No.
these hoes you're referring to?
All these
Or-
clubs that are open around town
Opera.
thrive on
So
that.
only women
They
who go
thrive
to
on
clubs show titty.
No, you get some titty in the grocery store.
And at George, in
And-
But
Georgetown.
she was trying, and she was trying to capture a dude because
I seen
she was
titties and
showing
Dean and DeLuca, and I
cleavage.
know that she was marketing.
You already
she
know
was
it.
out there marketing.
A lot of the times, titties are definitely
You
the
dig?
best marketing plan.
It's marketing.
Well, that
What
was
do you
the
guys do to
total-
market yourself?
I mean,
Yeah,
they weren't marketing at me. I
Walk
just,
around with
Different culture.
G-strings.
No,
Yeah.
no,
What
like
are y'all doing
pinky
then?
ring.
I
Cuffs and
wear pinky rings and
pinky
shine my
rings
white
and-
walls.
They floss is what they do. I mean, you're talking about women doing
I clean my
that, and I'm
spokes.
not saying that there's not a certain set of women out there that do that, but certainly you guys do the same thing in a different vein. You're flossing and you're showing what you have,
To
attract
you
those
will attract
women.
those women
Yeah,
to
definitely.
you.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So what's the problem?
There is not a problem with marketing. Let's acknowledge that it exists.
Okay,
Yeah.
but if a woman is only accepting you because of what you're actually flossing, then what does that say?
that says
That says that we
she's-
made a deal.
He says that y'all are perfect for each other.
Okay.
Yeah, it
So
does.
So then what's the complaint?
Right.
I don't get it.
No, there's not a complaint. I was just drawing a parallel.
Ooh.
I don't see a parallel. But
You do because you made the connection.
only
But-
for men who actually do that. Only for men who floss to attract women.
Yes, that's the only reason to floss.
But what
the
about
whole
men
thing
who
is
don't
flossing.
floss?
But the whole thing is flossing. Even when you don't floss, is a floss.
You think people buy Mercedes Benzes because they safe?
Yeah, you
They
think I
pass- 'cause
floss
they
my
pass a
teeth?
crash
But every
literally?
man doesn't drive a Mercedes Benz.
But I'm saying the reason
It's
why
not a
you
humble
purchase
dudes
that.
out here who have money who don't
The reason,
act like they.
but I'm saying the reason why
Yeah,
you
but
purchase
they
that
got
vehicle,
something.
the reason why they make sales, the reason why Bentley makes sales is to attract
saying.
a woman. And
Yeah.
they're not trying to attract their queen who's a thinker.
Nah.
They're trying to attract the person who
So-
operates
Yeah,
visually.
because they're afraid.
Trying to pull up
They're
on-
afraid of the
Yeah,
figure.
that's
This is
okay.
all
We can deal with
fear-based.
fear,
This is
right.
all
Really have
fear-based.
you-
We're not afraid.
It's the same
We're
reason.
not
So
that
if you
afraid.
drive a Benz, you're driving a Benz because you want a woman who's attracted to you
Yes.
driving a Benz.
It's
Well,
called
Not
toolery.
perhaps that you might have grown up with that as part of your culture, and you think that that's like a
or that
fine.
she just wanted
A
that
status
car.
symbol.
your
I'm
I'm
entire
not
life.
saying anything is wrong with it.
No,
There's
no,
nothing
no.
wrong with
I'm
it.
just saying there cannot be different perspective than flossing.
Hey, but
In
even
every,
if it's different, then
because a Range Rover here may be flossing, but a Range Rover over in Europe, is it really flossing in Europe?
I mean, yeah, still, but what I mean
Because
is,
you're from Europe, so
if-
you know.
I'm just saying.
Wait, well, hold on. We're gonna get to the meat of this when we come back.
Yeah, yeah,
On the
yeah.
Asterado show. We're gonna get
Isodology.
down to the Bill Cosby culture. It's
Men
coming
versus
down.
women.
Follow me now.
Yo.
To-
Whether you're interested in buying or selling a home, there's no bigger decision than choosing the person who will represent you during the transaction. A qualified, experienced real estate professional makes all the difference by helping you navigate the many decisions that arise when buying, selling, or leasing a property. At RE/MAX Sky Real Estate, our agents have the experience, expertise, and drive to help you find that perfect property. RE/MAX Sky is here for you if you're purchasing your first home, searching for a luxury home, or looking for commercial space. As the first luxury RE/MAX collection office in the district, we offer specialized services to clientele focused on purchasing luxury real estate. We're dedicated to delivering outstanding service and results you can count on. Contact RE/MAX Sky today to get started, or visit us online at www.remax-skyre.com to learn more about how an experienced real estate professional can assist you. Serving Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. RE/MAX Sky. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
I'm in a mood, baby, I'm in a mood for love. I said nighttime is the right time to be with the one you love. And you know when night come, baby, God know you so far away. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood for love. I'm in the mood, baby. I'm in the mood for love.
when I was 13, man. Start talking about weird things. No, really. Stand on the corner. You know anything about Spanish fly? What? Spanish fly? It always happens when you're 13. Only when you're 13 on up to like when you get married. Guys stand around and talk about Spanish fly, and it never starts with one of the guys on the corner. It's always some strange 13-year-old that says, you know what? You know anything about Spanish fly? No, tell me about it. Well, there's this girl, Crazy Mary. You put some in her drink, man. She... Yeah, Spanish, oh yeah, that's really groovy, man. Spanish fly is groovy, yeah, boy. From then on, man, anytime you see a girl, what's your ass on Spanish fly, boy? Go to a party, see 5 girls standing alone. Boy, if I had a whole jug of Spanish fly, I'd light that corner up over there. So I thought it only existed in Philadelphia, you know, and I'm working on I Spy, and Bob and I are working together. Sheldon Leonard comes up, says, boys, I Spy is going to Spain. A childhood dream come true. I said to Bob, you know, because he don't know nothing about it. I said, hey, Bob, you know what I'm going to pick up when I'm in Spain? He said, Spanish fly. I said, wait a minute, man. How'd you know about it? He said, are you kidding? There's a girl in my neighborhood in Berkeley named Crazy Mary. We gave her some trouble. And every time he told me a story, I had heard it. Every time I told him a story, he had heard it. We all knew the same story. So I figured there's got to be a guy about 2,000 years old that looks 13 going around the world. You guys know anything about Spanish fly? So Bob and I, man, we're just singing. Going to get some Spanish fly, love it, love it. And we're riding on the plane, Spanish fly. And we get in and go through customs. This is the land of Spanish fly. Spanish fly. We get in the cab, Ryan, the driver. Bob said, ask this guy if he knows where we can get some Spanish fly. I said, you don't ask the cab driver. No, ask the cab driver. He may know, man. Driver, stay senor. Listen, you Spanish? Si, senor, you American? Yes. You come from America? Yes. You could tell me maybe you brought with you some American fly?
Spanish fly was the thing that all boys from age 11 on up to death, we will still be searching for Spanish fly. That's right. And what was the old story was, if you took a little drop, no, it was on the head of a pin. That's right. And drop you put it in a Coca-Cola. Don't matter. It doesn't make it, and the girl would drink it, and she's yours. Hello, America.
I had 2 drinks that I'm clear about. He had his hand on the back of my head, and he was trying to push it towards his penis.
I didn't know if he was going to kill me or rape me.
Feeling drugged and him having sex with me.
Bill drugged me last night, then had sex with me. I don't understand it. It's not like I would have said no to anything.
That's the issue.
All right.
Yo, we back, man.
Call in 202-758-8607. And yes, Bill Cosby likes to get down like that.
No, he's a rapist. Bill Cosby's a goddamn rapist.
Hold up.
Hold up.
How do you feel about Heathcliff Huxtable?
He's not a rapist.
He's not a real person.
He's
a
so
freaking character.
sweet and
No
such
doubt.
a good father.
Right.
And then with Theo, he was like, remember when Theo was
So
like,
let me ask
I'll get
you
a
all
motorbike.
this. Do you
Remember
feel
that?
like, so knowing what we know about
I can't even watch that.
Bill
I didn't even
Cosby
watch
as
Sweaters.
Bill Cosby, from not even just the show, but just from, he has done really great things when it comes to like education and like fatherhood, and you know, if his life is really the way that it seems and what he's put out to the public, he seems like he's actually been a very great father. Can you be a great man and be a great father and potentially a great husband and still have this other life and be a great person overall, or does that take away from your position?
I mean, it takes away from your position because you violate people. However, it does not take away from the fact that you've done great things. Like if
it does.
No, I mean, if he taught somebody some shit, they still learned it.
Right, or all the money he donated to schools.
That's
Like,
right.
you can't take that away.
Right.
Like, you definitely can't take that away. However, you cannot forgive him and dismiss all of his
Cannot dismiss it.
improprieties because
you
of
can't
those
forgive him.
things.
You can't dismiss it.
You can't
But-
dismiss it. You can forgive him, but no, you have to be. Everyone needs to be held accountable.
Yeah.
So he still has to be accountable. You can be like, "Hey, dude, thanks for all those millions of dollars.
And I
all those
think
people
that-
you put through college,
But stay
you
away
still
from the
can't rape
campus.
people."
A lot of times
Yeah.
too, when people commit egregious acts or they just do things like, you know, if you go to church or anything, it's always like repent. So I'm just saying, as a devil's advocate, like Kevin was saying, maybe that's his repentance.
What is?
Donating large sums of money to black colleges
he's
or
guilty.
different things like
He's
that.
guilty.
There's so many.
But
I'm not.
honestly, he should be doing that anyway.
Well, he
Yeah,
should.
he got bread.
Still.
But the thing that's
you
when
never
you're
know what the
forgiven,
motivator is.
When you're forgiven time and time again, at some point you have to acknowledge what you've done
Right.
wrong,
Yeah.
so you can move on from there.
That's right. That's what we're missing from this piece. He's not saying, "Yo, really fucked up the last 40 years. My bad."
Which-
He's
Right.
saying I didn't do it. And not only is he not saying I didn't do it, he is suing some of the
Yeah.
women who have accused him.
Well,
That
he's
is
not
next
saying that
level predator.
He's not saying he did it, and he's not saying he didn't do it.
He's not saying
like,
anything.
No comment, which is like, okay, you did.
But
the
this
shit.
is the same dude that's saying, "Yo, pull your pants up.
Right.
Rap music is out of control."
Mm-hmm.
He out here dropping quaaludes and people's sprites,
Yeah.
acting like the Sprite is normal. Why my Sprite so gray? Why my Sprite got spots in it? Oh, that's how Sprite. They got a new line
Well,
of
you know,
Sprite
it's
now.
really interesting
Sprite.
too to see the dynamic
Sprite.
played out online. I just recently posted a video. Sherrod and I are both in the same group, and I should have invited people who were on the stream to. I simply posted. There's an article just came out of one of the accusers who's African American, and she just recently spoke out and said why she didn't speak out because she felt like she had to protect him as a black man in his image. And I posted and I said, so I guess she's lying too. And if you could read the stream of comments that were personal attacks on me, like
Right.
it's bitches like you who perpetuate the system. And I mean, and all I said was this, and someone said, I said, I guess she's lying too. Then someone said, well, I don't think he's lying. I said, well, why do you think she's lying? Is it the pudding pops? Didn't say anything else. I didn't say, oh, she's telling the truth. He raped all it. I didn't say anything else.
Yeah.
And the conversation evolved and evolved amongst men. So it got to the point where it was like, well, she's not responding, so she's lying. She, you know,
Right, her game, she got nothing to say
the whole
now,
thing,
right?
it just went so left, and I was just looking like, wow. And it got to the point where I just realized, like, there was no purpose in me even responding. Because at this point, this is not a conversation.
And I guarantee you, 5 of those comments were, nobody wants to fuck you anyway, or you probably.
Well, no,
you
everybody.
know,
I mean, I don't have.
I
no,
mean, clearly. But no, it's amazing.
We're all trying to
It's
holler
amazing
at
how
happened.
quickly in
No,
one of
but
those conversations they go to like super heavy, like
No, and I
pro-rape
even
culture,
said,
where dudes are talking about
that
you
on the stream, I even said, you know, I have a personal connection to a situation like this, so I decided not to comment. That's why I'm not responding. And then it became, oh, she's a liar. I guess she's gonna say she got raped. I guess she's gonna say that she knows one of the people who's saying that. I mean, it would just perpetuate it, and not in a sense of a conversation. But this is not just happening on that thing. It's happening.
Well, you know,
But it's
social
happening
media.
That is more
everywhere.
common than not, and I
It's
see it
happening
all
everywhere
the
on
time.
social media right now.
Social media is a
It's
good
divide.
place because we've learned about racism just recently, and now we're learning about sexism.
Yeah.
Because to men, a woman saying she raped or got raped or some bullshit happened, that's the same way that like the way a man would look at that just viscerally is kind of the way that the average white person would look at a black person saying the police are fucking with me.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
it's the same shit.
Right. No,
Yeah.
it's a very absolute parallel.
Like, oh, here they go
it
again.
is
Right,
absolute-
yeah.
Like, you can make sexist jokes. You can have songs with sexist lyrics in them. You can be completely discriminatory against women, and it's commonplace. It's funny. It's accepted. It's all of that. And there's never any parallel. And then the craziest thing to me is, the only thing worse in this country than being a woman is being black. And the only thing worse than that is being a black woman.
Yeah.
And there are black women that were raped by Bill Cosby. There are black women take the brunt of the worst of everything that this society and this culture has to offer. And there's like no solidarity whatsoever.
So let me ask you this.
So we have to the whole, and I think a lot of it is because we're desensitized. Even tonight, I almost didn't re-Instagram that thing because it says I don't think rape is funny ever. I don't think any of those memes out there about Bill Cosby are funny at all. On any context, in any level, at any time. There's nothing funny about rape ever. And we have to personally hold ourselves accountable and rise to a standard that's better than that and not make it funny. Because guess what? There's 3 women in the room. And Are you sure I wasn't raped? She wasn't raped? She wasn't raped? Whether we were 5 or last week or on the way here, you have no idea. And so every time we joke about rape and we joke about these things, you are sending yet another message to a woman that you don't matter. Your voice doesn't matter. You're just here to look good and get fucked, so put your ass in there and keep your mouth shut. And we don't want to hear about it. In fact, we are going to joke about it. We're going to joke about the blurred line Bill Cosby. That's not funny.
And the only way that a man or a non-raped woman can even understand that is put themselves. I don't know how a non-raped white man or a non-raped white woman could ever understand that. But like, if you're black, put it in the context of somebody making jokes about like the Klan fucking some shit
or
up.
lynching. Like, oh, you should have been in that neighborhood. You're way too black to be in that neighborhood. You should have known better. We're doing lynching memes and shit like that. It's insensitive and heartless and terrible.
I mean, we're not familiar enough with, when I hear the word rape just has like a word sound power that sounds like loud and violent.
Yeah, it just sounds like SVU.
I think it has the same type of power that nigger
with a hard
R coming from someone who's not black has. Like, if none that you ever would, if Molly was like, you nigger right now. Everybody would be like, cut it. Like, you gotta go, wrap it up. Like, it would just be like,
if she said nigga, we'd be like,
well, I don't know. I ain't giving no passes.
However, we just recalled a story where we're like, that bitch got a fat ass and whatever, she deserves it, blah, blah. And you didn't see any of us go, whoa.
Well, we were doing a dramatization.
Every day is a dramatization. In a woman's life before lunch, I am let known that I am not, I get paid less. We're worth less. Our opinions mean less. If I have an opinion, I'm being emotional. I'm being outrageous. I'm being extra. We are constantly told.
There's some bad dudes out there.
No. This is not bad dudes. This is media. This is magazines.
And it's not even intentional.
And don't act like you guys don't call women bitches, and if it's not a dramatization.
Well, let's not act like some women aren't bitches.
I'm not a dude that's walking down the street like catcalling either. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't matter. Look,
I think that
I'm the most misogynistic person I know. I recently just stopped saying broads. Okay, like I've been a tomboy my whole life. I don't disrespect women or anything. And when people call me a feminist at first, I took offense to that. Like, don't define me. Don't box me in. I don't even really know what that means anymore. You know what I am? I'm a humanist. We are all one. We are all the same. And we have to change. If you change the programming, then you change the world. And until men hold other men accountable, the world will continue to burn. So until y'all stop having those inflammatory, super disrespectful conversations where you just refer to women in negative lights, even joking, it's not funny. That's like being a fly on the wall at the country club with a bunch of white dudes and they're sitting around talking about black people in really bad ways. It's very obvious to see how wrong that is, but it's the same thing when you're around your dudes and you're saying negative shit.
If I'm talking to him and he's saying like, these bitches crazy, you know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, these bitches crazy. But then if he's like, I'm going to fucking drug a bitch tonight.
But nobody ever says that. But no, it's been said to him a million times. And what's the appropriate response? The appropriate response is to say, hey man, I'm not sure if you're aware, but you just raped that broad.
I mean,
and if you want to have some conversations, I don't know how the conversation goes, to be honest.
Like
I don't even know
when
how.
there was a time, like I mentioned in college, like being around pills and a lot of alcohol and partying, and when that was a worry, like getting accused of rape, when that was like something that was on my mind, I used to distance myself from people who were raping chicks because I thought that was not cool.
Right, yeah. You distanced yourself, but did you say anything?
I mean,
at what point do you say something?
If I were with, like, I like to think that I'm a good judge of character, but if I were with someone who I called my friend who was doing some rapey shit, I'd be like,
but if you heard the story later, then what?
No. I mean, if I'm seeing it, I'm saying.
But if you
I'm
heard
seeing
the story later, then what? What
Do
did
you
you do
still
later?
check
It's 3 sides to every story, so like it's really
If
difficult.
a dude
to-
tells
come
me,
on, no.
It depends who you heard the story
No,
from.
if
You
you're
heard the
hearing
story,
it
you
from
knew
the
that somebody
person
was
who's
admitting
telling
he
you the
just
story.
did
if a dude says to
You
you,
just
"Yo,
went
I,
to the
I
story.
dropped this
Oh.
in her drink. I dropped this in her drink, and I
I'm
I
sensitive
got
to that now. It was a time when I wasn't sensitive to that.
But I mean,
So now you would say what to that dude?
Yeah.
I'd be like, man, that's fucked up. You gotta do some shit or don't do that
Nah.
shit. If he told me beforehand,
No,
if he told you
After
after.
the fact, it happened, and this
And
is
you
what
actually maybe you
Man,
know the
last
chick.
night-
Let's suppose you know the chick. What do you do?
well, if I know the chick, that's different because I could go speak to her without I go speak to her
But
in
you
confidence.
don't check him before you go speak her. He just told you that he raped her, basically.
Okay, well, I'm saying I got to think about this hypothetically. Like, it's not like I could draw an experience from this, but so like if somebody I know came to me and said they raped somebody, and I also had access to that woman,
And you knew them, and you're on the same level
Yes.
of friendship with both people.
yeah, I would go talk to her like, yo,
You wouldn't
y'all
talk to him,
motherfuckers
though?
need to talk. Yeah, I would talk to him.
That's
But
what
what
we're
would you
asking.
say?
Would it
What
be
would you say to
considered
him?
snitching if you
No,
told
because snitching is when you do something
With somebody.
with somebody
Someone, yeah.
and you rat on that person to get a lighter punishment. That's
Okay.
snitching.
So
being
if-
a good citizen is being a
if
good
your
citizen.
friend was raped in this exact hypothetical, and there was a time where you were chosen to testify, would you speak up in a court of law to say, "Yo, my man, he came to my house. He told me he dropped the Molly all in her
And I
drink,
was
she
cool with
didn't
him
even
and I was
notice."
cool with her?
You were cool with them
Yeah.
on an equal
Equal
level.
level.
Yeah.
Nah, I would not speak in the court of law because I don't fuck with jail. But I would speak to him in the court of the street.
So when he
Which
gets
is
beat
more,
up,
more valuable in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I would.
And
I would
it's
not. I would not want him to go to jail and shit. Like he
'Cause
get his
that's
ass
easy.
whooped, and like he could get like he get dealt with without police and like messing with his family tree and all that. But he could get dealt with.
Right, I don't think like referring to the police or like the prison institution as like a fix is really, like that's the worst thing we could possibly do at this point based on the society we live in. However, like, the village needs to hold the
So
Yeah,
wait,
and that- right, no doubt about
so
it.
I understand, I hear that, but at the same time, for people who don't have the street, then what?
No, I'm not saying you shouldn't call the cops. I'm just saying the reality of it is like instead of dudes just like saying like a lot of people are saying online, hey man, let Cosby's day come in the court of law. Like what?
Yeah, that's
When did you
ridiculous.
start trusting in the court of law.
I
Like,
gotta-
last
that's
time I
ridiculous.
checked, that was like really.
I
Like,
got a hypothetical
really?
for
That's
the group.
crazy.
For the group, this is from experience that I saw happen to someone that I know. So, all right, a dude gets accused of rape. You might be familiar with the situation. I don't know.
Tupac.
Nah. Someone.
I don't think
I know
Tupac
what
did
you're
that
talking
shit.
about.
And so it's with someone that he's good friends with. Like the accuser is his good friend, and they've never hooked up before, but have always been like flirty, but have never gotten physical before, right? Maybe just kissed, but never had sex. They get wasted or whatever. He goes over to her crib. The next day, she says, "I think I was raped," and like her friends hear about this, and it just goes crazy. Like they put up posters on the streets
man.
with his picture that said rape, that said rapist.
Wait, did she go to did they take her to like actually?
It wasn't
No,
just
no.
her. It wasn't just her though. A lot of other women. When she came forward and
So
said
you know
this
what I'm
happened,
talking
I know
about.
exactly what you're talking about.
Damn.
Okay.
He's gone now. He ain't raped anybody since. It's a beautiful thing, man. As soon as she came forward and said this is what happened, a lot of other women said actually this happened to me
they
too.
no, not that thing. But they said he's been aggressive with them or he's been pushy with them, but never that exact thing. And to my knowledge,
I thought there was two other women that said that
You
he
might
was
be right.
physically raped.
You
That
might be right.
They were
I
physically
don't-
raped by him.
I don't. You might be right.
Well, okay, let me tell you. Fuck that. I done did a lot of balling. And back.
I'm sorry.
Straight up,
That was
look.
the way you said it.
I'm just telling you.
Tell us, please,
So
Grindstone.
look, in the like back before people was using their credit cards to buy champagne and when it was just cash straight out the
Yeah.
pocket and before Instagram and all that.
Before the faux balling, this is the
Yeah.
real, not the faux.
The football.
H2O,
Before
remember
moms
the
would end up
H2O?
paying their credit card
Class
bills.
so
Yeah.
Okay,
So look,
before Apple
look.
Pay, go ahead.
Right.
BC Live, 911, the Ritz.
When like when ecstasy got popping, usually when dudes would have like a lot of bottles around, it was one bottle that the dudes were instructed not to drink from.
Yeah.
And that was common.
Yeah, because that was the ecstasy bottle. That's for the ladies.
Yes, that was common.
Wow, I'm glad I was too young for that.
I didn't know. I was there.
I
I
would
didn't
have
know
been
nothing
probably
about
like,
that.
Yeah.
That was common.
Well, I've almost drank drinks where that they put pills in twice in my life. But I
But
was
you
just
knew.
observant. No, I was observant enough to see it happen right before my eyes. Or the first time I saw the bartender put it in my drink.
A bartender?
Yeah. The
Lord
second
Jesus.
time, in which
Jesus
I was
Christ.
in Miami. I must have been like 23 or 24 years old. The second time I was in Vegas, and a friend put it in my drink.
Lord Jesus.
And I saw the like the
bubbling,
white
the
stuff
bubbling.
at the bottom.
Yeah.
And I didn't drink it.
Good.
So but who knows if I had
what was
one
your
more
response to, like, what did you say?
Because that was your
Like,
friend.
I
A
had
fight didn't break out?
Yes, I mean it was a situation, but I'm just saying, like, had I had one extra drink, maybe I would have never
Not
noticed
noticed.
the
You
white
wouldn't have noticed,
substance. And
right.
like, who knows what could have happened in either of those situations that happens to people every day. They're not that aware.
Yeah, I had a friend that used to roofie herself. This is not even a joke.
What?
It's a true story.
Why?
She roofied herself. I swear.
Is that a surprise? I don't know what's gonna set
She
in.
roofied herself, and then she was like, "Do you want
Keep
some
drinking.
roofies?" I was like, "You offering roofies?" I didn't know that was a thing.
It can't be self-rape. No,
No. She didn't get raped.
But no, rape has a blurry definition that is now getting a little more defined.
And what is the definition now? Anything without consent, right?
Yeah.
Right, anything without consent.
Before it
It's
was like, fuck it, if you could trick her, drink that.
Now celebrities are like a lot of these famous rappers. I know, like Drake and Justin Bieber. They have like forms.
Yeah.
They have
hell yeah.
forms that.
And Dave Chappelle just joked about that.
If you're
And
like
that was
at
real.
an after party or whatever with one of them, and something's going down, they'd be like, "All right, hold on. If anything happens, then you just sign this form."
You know what? I'm not mad at that. Let's
No,
all
I'm
be
not
adults.
mad at that
Let's
either.
all
But
be
that's
accountable.
crazy,
That
though.
breaks
That's
the
not.
vibe.
No, it is not crazy. It is intelligent.
That's
In
like,
the day
oh,
and age
I'm-
that we
It's
live
smart
in-
for them. It's smart for them because they have a lot
But
to
as a
lose
woman
and-
too, I mean, if like something like that is to me getting consent, but in a formal matter. Like if you know you're going to be doing drugs and you know that you may be having sex, and now you're like, oh, if I know I don't want to have sex with anybody, and I know that I'm going to be doing drugs, I might not have control over myself.
Or
then
especially
I need
if
to
that's
remove
what's going
myself.
down. Like you go to a stripper
Right.
party or like a
A orgy party or whatever
Right.
it
And
might
then
be.
you're like, my bad,
Hey.
I didn't know.
I need to leave.
I will
Okay,
leave
this is
now,
my cue.
or I will double down.
Uber,
Yeah.
let's go. Like whatever. Like that to me is a formal way of getting consent in advance. Like I ain't mad at that.
The thrill is
It just
gone.
doesn't seem
Man,
sexy
honestly,
to me.
we're all adults. Why aren't we just saying, you good with this? Like, are
What,
you guys
fill
not
out a
worried that
form?
we're gonna be like, actually, no.
Right.
Like, what's really the fear there, man?
That's
That's
the
a
fear for
liability.
dudes
Having
like
sex with
Drake
them
and
is a
Justin Bieber.
liability for
That's the
them.
fear.
Yeah,
That's
It's
the
a
dude could be
liability.
like, "Nah, I didn't want to
It's
do
liability,
it."
but
Yeah.
for regular dudes on the non-Justin Bieber level,
Yeah.
why are
Yeah,
you
but
so
there's-
afraid to be like, we good, thumbs up?
Because they don't want the
And take a
rejection.
picture
They
and
don't want the
weird.
rejection.
Do
That's
like a
almost
video.
like,
Do like a
that's
video.
almost
Like,
like,
we
may I
good?
have a kiss? Like you got to move in for the thing.
Hey,
Like,
you got it.
wow.
But
Like,
is that rapey though? If
I guess it's rapey now.
if you put
I
your
think
head
the
in,
conversation too, like I mean, Grindstone, you have a son. Have you had a conversation with him about consent or like?
he's vegan. He's good, dog. He's vegan. His son vegan. He ain't gonna get caught.
I haven't had to talk about consent. I've had to talk about how you get people pregnant. But like,
How?
you know, I don't
This
wanna-
is what you do.
I'm
if
saying
you need to get it.
I don't want no grandkids, but like,
Show them the T video.
I didn't talk the T video.
There's this really great video. It's like a little like drawn graphic thing about tea, and it's like, so you're hanging out with this chick, and you ask her if she wants tea, and she says yes, but then when you go to give her the tea, she fell asleep. Does that mean she still wants some tea?
Wow.
Like it's so simple.
Yeah.
It runs
Find
through
it.
like all the different scenarios, but then
That's
she
cute.
said she wanted the tea, and she even put the sugar in the tea, but then she decided she didn't want the tea. Do you still give her the tea? No,
not a good
it's
thing.
not to be had. It's a really great, like,
that's
simple
good.
cartoon stick figure way, and they only talk about tea. And it seems almost insultingly simple, but like it's ridiculous.
That's
how
a good
many people
conversation
need to see
starter.
that.
What you
Hey,
need?
so
I'll
look,
be looking for
so
the
look,
video.
Look,
Oh no,
after
it's great.
after this break,
Another one?
hey, we got to get
We should
down to
watch the
we got to
TV,
get down
yeah.
to our visuals.
I want to hear Khaled and another one.
We really want to get your opinions on how you feel about Bill Cosby, how you feel about people who you trusted who violated you. Get at us on the Asherado Show. We'll be right back.
I think that rapists should just go to Miami because
Whether you're interested in buying or selling a home, there's no bigger decision than choosing the person who will represent you during the transaction. A qualified, experienced real estate professional makes all the difference by helping you navigate the many decisions that arise when buying, selling, or leasing a property. At RE/MAX Sky Real Estate, our agents have the experience, expertise, and drive to help you find that perfect property. RE/MAX Sky is here for you if you're purchasing your first home, searching for a luxury home, or looking for commercial space. As the first luxury RE/MAX collection office in the district, we offer specialized services to clientele focused on purchasing luxury real estate. We're dedicated to delivering outstanding service and results you can count on. Contact RE/MAX Sky today to get started, or visit us online at www.remax-skyre.com to learn more about how an experienced real estate professional can assist you. Serving Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. RE/MAX Sky. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
Heard about you. You heard about me. Get it. Why?
Cause I had some issues.
Why? Back at you. Bad girl.
Is it bad that I never made up? No, I never did. But I shouldn't have had
I want you to.
Bad girl, I prove it to you.
Bill Cosby, accused of allegedly raping over 50 women. The majority of these women that he supposedly raped was white. Now, of course, I have a lot of black followers, and there are a good amount of white followers that support what I do as well. But I have to be myself for a second. Bill Cosby, a 78-year-old man born in 1937. This man lived through the front line of Jim Crow. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm scratching my head on some of these things. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm well aware of rape victim issues, and happen to know quite a few myself, but that's beside the point. This is simply a situation where you have to use common sense, because obviously a lot of people don't have that nowadays. Now, they say over 50 women accused Bill of rape and came forward, and not all of them are white. Some happen to be black as well. But just to be lenient with things, I'm gonna say 20 white women came forward, okay? Now let me clap my hands, because I don't think that you guys understand just how many 20 is. Really, nigga? So y'all gonna just sit there and avoid the fact that this shit may not be adding up? I don't give a damn if there were 50 women that came forward. Anytime when you're an entertainer, a black male entertainer at that, with super high wealth, lying ass vultures are gonna come out the woodworks. Oh, come on, bruh. Over 50 women stepped forward, bruh. I'm pretty sure he raped at least one of them, a couple of them. Look, one thing you guys don't understand is that conspiracy is real. The reason why people don't believe in it is because if you're a person with average thoughts that stay glued to the television set, then of course you're not going to believe the behind the scenes true stories of what goes down, because you've never once stepped foot outside the box and never really had to. I don't like using this thing, but it's true. White supremacy runs shit. Not all white people mean harm towards black people. White supremacy run everything. These are their TV station, their networks, their radios, their newspapers, their magazines, and their niggas who happen to control whatever whenever they decide to hit the button. Hell, damn near everything is owned by them. All these accusations on Bill Cosby, but no one has yet once found evidence. No one has found out one piece of evidence of rape between 20 to 30 years. Let me tell you something. You and I both know that it don't take shit for a nigga to get thrown underneath the bus. Hell, all a black man gotta do is cough and a white woman can run off and say he raped me. And I guarantee without no question he will be gone. And that's if they don't blow his brain out of his skull. I've never once seen a highly successful black entertainer die in high wealth. They got Whitney, they got Michael Jackson. I pray Denzel, Michael Jordan, Will Smith, and Oprah make it to the end without getting a book thrown at them. Why do you think people like Will Smith, Denzel, Samuel, and all these other high-profile black celebs don't go out often? Because they understand the world that we live in. That's why you never hear about them cutting up. All they do is do their work and go the fuck home. Bill, on the other hand, was out here making all kind of noise over the years. You know, just like I know, that they hate when you do good for your own people, and they hate it when you're vocal. And most of all, they hate it when a black man with money make purchases that quote-unquote out of their lane. Bill Cosby tried to buy NBC a couple of times. They slammed the door right in that nigga face. Why? Because if he had gotten it, there would have been a whole different perception and outlook on black entertainment. Because he was ready to open the door for brothers and sisters. You ain't got to like Bill, but support the work that he put in. And to control whatever, whenever they decide to hit the button. Hell, damn near everything is owned by them. All these accusations on Bill Cosby, but no one has yet once found evidence. No one has found out one piece of evidence of rape between 20 to 30 years. Let me tell you something. You and I both know that it don't take shit for a nigga to get thrown underneath the bus. Hell, all a black man gotta do is cough and a white woman can run off and say he raped me. And I guarantee without no question he will be gone. And that's if they don't blow his brain out of his skull. I've never once seen a highly successful black entertainer die in high wealth. They got Whitney, they got Michael Jackson. I pray Denzel, Michael Jordan, Will Smith, and Oprah make it to the end without getting a book thrown at them. Why do you think people like Will Smith, Denzel, Samuel, and all these other high-profile black celebs don't go out often? Because they understand the world that we live in. That's why you never hear about them cutting up. All they do is do their work and go the fuck home. Bill, on the other hand, was out here making all kind of noise over the years. You know, just like I know, that they hate when you do good for your own people, and they hate it when you're vocal. And most of all, they hate it when a black man with money make purchases that quote-unquote out of their lane. Bill Cosby tried to buy NBC a couple of times. They slammed the door right in that nigga face. Why? Because if he had gotten it, there would have been a whole different perception and outlook on black industry.
We're back on the Asherado Show right here on WLVS, ListenVisionLive.com.
Call in.
Here tonight with our special guest, Molly Rulin of One Love Massive. We're talking about the Bill Cosby crimes and the entitlement of powerful men and how that's affecting us in today's society.
Now, what we just saw was the perspective that I see from a lot of, well, not in person, but on social media, I see that perspective from a lot of black men.
Yeah, nobody says that to your face, that shit.
Well, I think Kevin you had a good name for it. You called it black insecurity in the community.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been seeing this, like Grindstone said on social media. There seems to be a fear that white people or the white powers are trying to bring down powerful black men.
Well, they are. But this doesn't count.
But this one is not the one, because just the level of logistical organization required to take him down in this scenario, maybe the networks were encouraged to release the information because he was going to buy the thing or something like that. You could even argue that. But it doesn't change the fact that 50 women, he did 20 claps. I thought he was on our side. I thought like he was like,
I have a
20 is a
question
lot.
to pose
Could you imagine 50?
for the panel just based on that statement, because I have personally been in, hasn't been in Bill Cosby's situation before, but I've personally been in a situation before where I've been accused of something that one person accused me of, and about 5 other people confirmed that I did it, and it was definitely something.
Did you do it?
No, it was most definitely something that I did not do. But most people out there are followers, and I'm not saying that Bill Cosby did it or he didn't do it, but most people out there are followers. They're followers on social media. They're called followers for a reason. They're out there following what somebody is saying, something said that was done. Now, is it possible?
Yes.
That somebody just, were they paid? Is it
50 people, Sherrod?
But why not?
Possible, but it's not
If
probable.
I could have, I'm not famous, but I could have 5 or 6 people following one person. Okay, why can't Bill Cosby, who's like a 1 zillion times more known and famous than I am?
I mean, I think you're
can't
famous.
have 50 people.
I think you're famous.
I'm just saying, like, let's
Well,
consider
right.
that. Have you not had that happen to you? Have you never had one person say something to you
people lie on
about
the
that
you?
Other
But the
people
whole thing-
supported?
Look.
Yes.
No,
Well, let's
but they don't
break it
have
down.
evidence though.
Hold on.
Like that's the whole thing. They don't have evidence to back their claim.
Well, my situation was very different. I had very close people saying they saw me doing something that no one was even present for. They were, I saw her doing it. I was there.
Well, how serious was it? Was it as serious?
It was serious enough for me at 23 years old. That's not the point. The point is that there were people that were very close to me that I thought that had my back, that were my best friends, that went and confirmed that I did something that I did not do.
He admitted that he did it.
Yeah, he did it. He's a rapist, dog.
He admitted that he raped them?
No, that he
Or
gave
He
pills.
drugged them to have sex with them.
Did he say that he drugged them to have sex with them?
I
Did he
don't
say he
remember
got
that part.
pills for women who he wanted to have sex with?
He said that he got pills for the purpose of giving to women who he wanted to have sex
Like
with.
he was saying he wanted to
For
jump
that
it off.
shmoney.
Of
with
course,
the
he's
pills.
not saying, "Yeah, I raped them."
Right.
He's not using those words.
Well, I'm just
but-
saying for the sake of legality. Like if he didn't say he gave it to them for rape, I mean that's the different. I understand what you're saying. I don't say I disagree with that.
Let's be
but I'm just saying
clear.
that to be very clear because I think that's one of the problems that people. So one of
It's
the
very vague right now.
for one of the
he's not
talking
gonna get
points for
convicted.
people who don't
will not.
believe. For one of the talking points for people who don't believe that he did it is that he has never said that he had drugs. Yeah, he had drugs, but he never said that he gave it to them without them knowing. He never said that he gave it to them and then
Which is important.
Right,
Yo,
he
real
never
talk.
said those
If you
things.
believe old boy is innocent, call us up 202-758-8607 so I can snatch your fucking head off your neck.
Listen out of New York.
And we'll have a
accent
conversation.
came out.
We'll have a
Brooklyn-
conversation.
the
Now, when
Brooklyn
you just-
came out.
When you just talk about
Nobody's
the number,
calling now.
okay, the fact that 5 people confront on you, why couldn't 50 get on his side?
And for the right opportunity. Who knows what opportunity was
They trying to
presented?
get that civil lawsuit.
That could totally happen.
I
However,
feel like it's
look,
so far-reaching.
look. When people said something about you, did you say, "No, I didn't do that"? Did you say that?
Yeah, I
He
did.
never said that.
So that makes us different.
It does.
He never
I mean,
said
I'm not. I
if
wasn't.
he were
I most
innocent-
definitely am not a celebrity, and I definitely wasn't a celebrity.
Yo,
back
dog,
in
you got to say
23.
no. Even R. Kelly said that
So-
wasn't me in the
I didn't-
video.
yeah, you gotta
R. Kelly was like, nah, it
have a
wasn't
response like, "Yo, I
question.
didn't do that."
Not if you're attorneys and a whole
Nah,
bunch
you
of
lied
people.
till you die, son.
A question for
Tell the
Sherrod.
truth if you didn't
For
do
your
it.
situation, you have 5 people. I'm not taking anything away from that. Did those 5 people have a detailed account of, well, first, I woke up in the morning and I ate my oatmeal. Then I went down.
And did those accounts match each other's?
Did they sound?
Did it affect your life in any kind of way?
And were you
It
on a
most
sitcom?
definitely
Affected
affected
your
my
life.
life. It was a very emotional time in my life, so it most definitely
Yeah.
affected my life. But I don't know. I wasn't there. I just heard the stories that were told about me and what, their perception of what happened and how they were allegedly there when it happened. But I was not privy to their, entire detailed version of what they said.
And
I
that's
think was just
But I also wasn't on trial and, all that other
I
stuff.
think it's really interesting for me when reading the different stories, like not Vanity Fair, but I think it was the New York Post that did the whole spread of like 30.
All
This was
the
like a
different
couple.
women,
Maybe it was
yeah.
like 2008. This wasn't even like really recent. This was some years back. Was that each story there were similarities, but they were different. There were some stories that were like, oh, he gave me pills. I took the pills. I knew they were Quaaludes, but I woke up this way. There were other stories that were like, well, I just had a glass of wine and I started feeling funny. There were other stories that were like, well, he told me they were Motrin. There were different variations of
the
stories.
problem is this motherfucker had pills on so many occasions.
He had pills on deck. Like, he had pills on his
We can
person.
agree that he had too many pills.
He had them in his car.
But
You
I
know he
think
had a
the
pill
variation-
compartment in the
I
car.
think the variation and the acceptance of what maybe somebody on the outside would say responsibility
That's hella
of what
pills.
happened is so different that I believe it even more that he did it because it's not just, oh, I was just there and I laid down, I took a nap and I woke up and he was inside of me. The story is, there's similarities in the pills, but there's not similarities in consistency of what that woman did as far as how they were involved in feeling like he took advantage of them, because I can't say because I wasn't there. So that, to me, that variation adds a different level of complexity, because it's like, well,
it's not consistent.
It's not
across the
consistently
board.
like,
Even the
yeah.
most lightweight of attorneys can get him off on this.
Yeah, this
like,
case
it's
is whack.
so
They have
easy.
been for
This-
40
Yeah, I mean,
years.
he won't get
case is
convicted.
bad. This
yeah,
case
he
is
won't
not
get,
even one of the good ones.
To plant a reasonable doubt in one of 12 people, he's gonna walk.
But public opinion, though, is
no,
again,
right.
you know what I'm saying? It might
this
work.
is where everybody has to come to this place. Since this is like a place where we're all like, I feel this way about Bill Cosby. I feel that way about Bill Cosby, because we live in a society where he touched everybody mentally and emotionally, and many people physically. But where he touched everybody in some kind of way, we feel some kind of way about it. We all have to be okay with the fact that he's going to walk, and we have to come with some type of understanding.
Maybe
about,
he won't walk.
He totally
Maybe it's
is.
payback for OJ, like they gave us OJ.
I mean, here's the thing.
He totally is,
It's
but cause and
like-
effect, like at some point, like
OJ didn't do it.
like Molly, how you were saying, OJ did not do it.
He didn't.
He
I
hired,
heard-
he hired that hit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I heard it was over drugs. I think the boy.
Well, hold up, this ain't what we talking about. But as you were saying, like, for us to look at the judicial system as our savior, that's a 100% mistake.
That's a
And
fallacy.
so we have to, like, learn from Bill Cosby. Actually, I mean, he's a martyr in this situation because we're having this conversation right now that may save some men who may spare some women. Like, if it wasn't for Bill Cosby running through the whole shit like he did.
That's interesting.
I mean,
It's
he served his
perspective.
purpose.
It's perspective.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But we have to be some kind of okay with knowing that the judicial system is not our savior.
And one thing that we didn't touch on really is how he used power and the notion of
totally
and power and money,
the
yeah.
entitlement of his position,
Money, power, respect.
and how much more damaging that is than just simply drugging. Like, he used his influence to get the women in his aura, then he drugged them because even if they wanted to sleep with him, I guess he wanted to have complete control, complete power. He's got some issues up here, Dr. Huxtable does. But I think that's an important thing to think about as well. Like,
imagine this.
Yeah.
In your formative years, say you're 17 and you're rocking Cosby sweaters, Theo shag, whatever you're doing.
I mess with Theo
Right,
hard,
right. So
you know
say
what I
you're
mean?
doing that, right? Somehow, somebody meets somebody and like, man, we need another dude on the Cosby Show, and they introduce, and they're like, man, can you come up? Can you sit in on the show?
Yeah.
And then Bill Cosby feeds you lunch and shit, and he's like, hey man, take your shirt off.
Yeah.
At what point would Bill Cosby's influence? Would you say, man, get the fuck off me?
Well,
Right
Or like-
then,
or
right
back-
then, at the
All you
shirt
gotta
off.
do is look at Penn State if you want to know the answer to that question.
Right, on some Sandusky.
I mean, for real.
I
And then
mean,
that's the thing.
I'm
Were all those
17
little
in this
boys
scenario.
lying?
Yeah.
Let me just
I was
pose a
fighting
question.
then.
Were all the little boys lying? Were they all waiting for
No,
the
'cause
payoff?
they're white men.
Were
They
all
can't lie.
deserving it? Should they have stayed out of that locker room? Should they maybe have not taken off those cleats in front of their
So
coach?
power is something
Like,
very
how
serious.
are you gonna right? And you know what? Every single one of these stories, at some point, somebody saw what was going on, went home and did an inventory, and they said, "This is gonna fuck my life, my career, my money too much."
Yep.
I'm not saying nothing. Accountability is what stops all of this.
Well-
Uncomfortable conversations is what stops all this. Why does Bill Cosby like to have sex with lifeless women?
Yeah, it's bugged out.
Something happened to him when he was a child that has not been addressed.
Yeah,
And it's
he was
happening
abused.
in a lot of communities, and it's an epidemic, and we're not talking about it.
Well, you know-
and this is why we're at where we're at. Why do we live in a culture where it's sexy to dress up like a schoolgirl and have a shaved vagina? I'm sorry, you know who has hairless vaginas?
I'm
4-year-olds.
sorry, I have to disagree with that.
4-year-olds. 4-year-olds. So we live in a culture where little girls are sexy, schoolgirl outfits are sexy.
No schoolgirls, but I have to digress on that other topic.
for
I
real.
very
But when I
much
was
prefer
16, I
that.
dated a schoolgirl. I had.
But I'm just saying, we live in a culture where what we value is sexy and all that is really distorted, and we're not having conversations about it. How can you think that these things are attractive and sexy and appealing? Why is dressing up like a little schoolgirl sexy? Like, there's some very
The little
broken
schoolgirls are looking grown.
When I was
In those
16,
outfits,
when I
the
was
button
16,
down
and my
and the skirt,
first
that
girlfriend
shit's
was a
grown
little
up looking.
schoolgirl, and she was bad. She kept 20 bags in her bra and everything. She was bad. I
20
swear.
bags?
Yeah.
No.
She had the high socks and everything. But I was 16 too, so it was cool.
But that's a different story
but
than
like now-
grown
but like
men.
now- but like
that's
now-
a different story than a man wanting to have sex with
I know,
lifeless
but for me,
women.
right now, with what you're saying about the
schoolgirl outfit.
I can
Schoolgirl
see
outfits are
that
banging,
weird.
though.
It's
It's
like,
a
oh,
throwback.
baby.
It's a throwback to that.
I'm just saying the whole thing is a little bit skewed, and we're
now
into some
gray
weird
hair's in.
shit, and we're not talking about
Good
it.
for
And
you.
this is what happens when you don't talk about the weird shit that people are into. Then they have to exercise their desires and their things
In secret.
in weird ways. You know what I mean?
Well-
in illegal, immoral, in very impactful ways. Negatively.
Well, I'm gonna drop some facts and then we're gonna go to break. But
Yeah.
one reason why people keep their mouths shut is because, well, due to the Justice Department 2008 survey,
Yeah.
32% of rapes get reported. That's
That's
1/3.
lowish.
100
32 and
happened,
100.
32 of them stepped up.
So which means Bill Cosby
68
actually
of them fell
raped
back.
150 women.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
7%
At
lead
least.
to an arrest.
Yeah.
For real.
So that's 1/5 almost.
only
For real.
7%?
Only 7% of the reported
32%
joints lead to an
reported.
arrest. 3% are referred to prosecutors. This almost is like as hard as trying to get an NBA. 2% lead to a felony conviction. 2% of convicted rapists will spend a single day in jail. That means that people are floating out of here. And 47% of the rapists are a friend or an acquaintance. Now, we'll be right back after this break.
Them
Think about that
statistics
dude who
crazy.
touched you, and man,
And
call
call us up and give
And
us
think
his
about who
name
is doing
and
the
shit.
intake and prosecution.
call them hitters. Call them hitters on him.
Man.
We'll be back.
The
This your boy Red Grant, and make sure you get caught red-handed on them new GrindstoneUniversal.com apparel. You can go to GrindstoneUniversal.com right now to get your new fall, winter, and your Christmas presents for your little kids and the babies and your girl and your man. The turn-up is real. We ain't doing this for play.
Whether you're interested in buying or selling a home, there's no bigger decision than choosing the person who will represent you during the transaction. A qualified, experienced real estate professional makes all the difference by helping you navigate the many decisions that arise when buying, selling, or leasing a property. At RE/MAX Sky Real Estate, our agents have the experience, expertise, and drive to help you find that perfect property. RE/MAX Sky is here for you if you're purchasing your first home, searching for a luxury home, or looking for commercial space. As the first luxury RE/MAX collection office in the district, we offer specialized services to clientele focused on purchasing luxury real estate. We're dedicated to delivering outstanding service and results you can count on. Contact RE/MAX Sky today to get started, or visit us online at www.remax-skyre.com to learn more about how an experienced real estate professional can assist you. Serving Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. RE/MAX Sky. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
NBC says it has scrapped a Bill Cosby comedy that was under development, the second outlet within a day to put off or abandon a Cosby project after another sexual assault allegation against the comic emerged. It is against that backdrop that the Associated Press is showing for the first time a new portion of an interview with Cosby, taped on November 6th in Washington. The interview centered around an art exhibit. At the end of the interview, Cosby was asked about long-circulated accusations of sexual assault and recent criticism from comedian Hannibal Buress. This is that exchange.
I have to ask about your name coming up in the news recently regarding this comedian.
No, we don't answer that.
Okay. I just wanted to ask if you wanted to respond at all about whether any of that was true.
There's no response.
Okay. Can I ask you, if with the persona that people know about Bill Cosby, should they believe anything differently about what?
There is no comment about that.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I think you were told. I don't want to compromise your integrity, but I don't talk about it.
As the interview wound down, Cosby then continued the conversation. The camera was still running, and Cosby and his wife were wearing lapel microphones.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Now, can I get something from you?
What's that?
That none of that will be shown?
I can't promise that myself, but you didn't say anything.
I know I didn't say anything, but I'm asking your integrity that since I didn't want to say anything, but I did answer you in terms of I don't want to say anything of what value will it have.
I don't think it will.
Ma'am, what'd you say?
Sorry?
What did you say?
I don't think it has any value either.
Yeah.
And I would appreciate it if it was scuttled.
I hear you. I will tell that to my editors, and I think that they will understand.
Well, I think if you want to consider yourself to be serious,
Mm-hmm.
that it will not appear anywhere.
Okay. I appreciate what you've asked.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we thought, by the way, because it was AP, that it wouldn't be necessary to go over that question with you.
And we haven't written about this at all in the past 2 months, but they want, my bosses wanted me to ask.
If you will just tell your boss the reason why we didn't say
especially
that
black
up-
comedians about Bill Cosby. What is your relationship with him?
Well, I think he's look, you can be
tremendously talented and be benevolent. Like when Lucifer, when he was in heaven, he was God's most beautiful angel.
Mhm.
You can do evil shit. Like you can fuck up in heaven, you can fuck up in Harlem. That's the way it goes. But I just think in 2009, remember when Kiss FM was here, right?
Yeah.
I was hosting the show. And people don't know that Bill Cosby sought actively to try to get Def Jam out there. He didn't want us he didn't like the way you did
The
comedy.
Def Comedy Jam.
He didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
There was only so you could we had a run in, and I knew he didn't like me, and I didn't like him. He called in 2009, called to do an interview. I was at Kiss FM in New York. Me, Jackie Reed, Steve Wilson. Bill called to do an interview. He had a gig in Connecticut. I knew he didn't like me, so I just let them do the interview. And about 10 minutes in, he was being such a dick. You know, all that kind of shit. So I say, hey, man, what, Mr. Cosby, what do you want us to know? Who is this? This D.L. Hughley. You say nigga, and you do this, and you say, and I said, well, with all due respect, Mr. Cosby, when I cuss or I say nigga, no girl ends up with her underwear on backwards and drugged.
Wow.
And when I say nigga, when I cuss, it's on stage, not a police report. And we go back and forth, It's a true story. And he says, this is not going to air. I said, the fucking ain't, right? And I thought it would. 10 minutes later, 5 to 10 minutes later, the people from Kiss FM and MS Communication came down, took that tape, said if it airs, you'll never work on radio again. Took it from everybody. Said this better never air. And it did not.
And it did not
And I'm
air.
telling that's true shit. I swear that on my kids. So I
what-
know he's powerful enough to make that happen.
So now you don't think so you're telling this story now.
I told it then. I
Oh,
told
you
it on
told it on
Tom Jones.
Time-
No, this is
okay.
not. No, this is.
you told the
Oh
story.
yeah, I swear to God.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
people only hear what they want to hear.
Yeah.
Like I had known this for a long time and said it a long time ago. I remember I was on Tom Jones' show. He's the one that got me my radio show, and I was on his show, and I told him, "Don't talk about Mr. Cosby like that." They really have this idea. Like you can be, like I said, you can be profane, you can be profound. He's a lot of is. He's a humorist.
Yeah.
He's a benevolent. He's a humorist. He's a humanitarian, and he's a rapist. That's the way that you can be all them.
To be all
You
those.
can be-
yeah.
Man, I lived next door to a dude, man. He took me to the free clinic. He told me about life. And he also was raping his daughter the whole time and went to jail. So to me, he's always gonna be the dude who did everybody's do. How come when people do stuff like this, they're always above reproach, nobody ever believes them, and then it's always a lot of it. And it's always and the reason it hits home to me is because my youngest daughter said something happened to her, and because it was somebody I like, I didn't believe her. And I'll never get that back. She'll never. I'm supposed to protect her, and I'll never get that back. That she told her father something, and he didn't do nothing about it because it was inconvenient. So I could see how that could play.
Right.
And there's so many everybody wandering around why women are mad and why people are like that. Look at the shit they go through.
Yeah.
Like when she said on Color Purple, a girl child ain't safe in the family for the men. That's fucking true. And it's just that he is categorically everybody you ever see is like priests who are above reproach, or coaches who are above reproach.
Right. Teacher.
Nobody teacher, they would never. Why are you somebody's boyfriend? I watch y'all with you. And he played on that, and to this date, he's never said he didn't do it. He got women defending it. He ain't never one time said I ain't do it. You arguing on TV. Now you know whether this ain't hateration. I think he's one of the greatest comics that ever lived.
Yeah.
So what? I tell you what. By any accounts, you could say, well, those women wanted to get in the show, but I didn't want to get drugged and fucked. I wanted
a role. I wanted a cameo.
I wanted to speak it.
Yeah.
All right, we're back.
Call us 202-758-8607.
But don't we got a
we
caller
have a
though?
caller on the line.
Our caller hung up, but we really want you to call back, so please do.
Yeah, call back, caller. This is some real situations because men have to be open to women telling this truth.
Yeah.
Women have to be open to women telling this truth.
Now,
And
women have to not live in fear. Not like
Well,
that we create. No, I'm saying that men create and perpetuate and contribute to.
And men have to be able to check men when it's time to oh shit, you out there raping, like you did that. Like it needs to be some type of.
But do you think it's really real? Can I ask the question of the men? So one of the things, the main thing that struck me with DL's commentary was that he said his own personal experience and his youngest daughter, and he didn't step up.
That was inconvenient.
So he was inconvenient, and he didn't do what he's supposed to do. So do you think that And I think that listening to him say that, to me, outside looking in, is like that is part of what makes him so much more free of speaking about what Bill Cosby is being alleged of doing and feeling so passionately about it. Do you think that as a man, it's more difficult for a man who has never had a personal experience with a woman being raped than one with that, like
Definitely, and I think that was one of the most important things anyone has said about this controversy at all that I've heard in any interview, because the inclination is for us to not believe when a woman says she's raped.
Immediately.
And even in that scenario where it's your own daughter, like how does she benefit from lying to her father,
and it's because he liked that other person.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't have to be one or the other, like you said.
You
like,
can still like them.
Right. Like you can be a great comic.
As a personal experience, I had that happen. I was raped, and I approached my father. And my father is born 1945. He, through the 70s were his prime. And when I approached my parents, he told me that's what they all say, without blinking.
What do you mean? That's what all women
say when they've had sex, and like I ended up having
and he was programmed to think that.
He just was like, that was just a common thing. Right. 1 second. We have a caller?
Caller? Are you there? Yeah. Hey, welcome to the Asperado Show. Caller, what's your name?
GW.
GW. Can you speak to us? Tell us how you feel about, tell us whatever's on your mind about this topic.
Oh, well, I think there's just too much evidence out there for this to be. Excuse me, I'm getting reverb.
GW, can you turn down your radio or what you're listening to in the background, please? And your phone is breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, say that again.
Anyway, I think there's just too much out there for this to be some type of conspiracy.
Okay, I was worried.
But question you got and gal, what's your take on Camille Cosby and her?
Cosby.
That's important.
Yes. She seems to me that she's gone to court to deny, and even her statement that he doesn't go to jail yet. He's a serial and philanderer. I mean, that says a lot to me.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, we got.
Hey,
most of that.
we're gonna take you. We're gonna take that off with you off the air.
Yeah. Thank you, GW.
Just because your phone was breaking up, but that is important. I mean, yeah, this is more important here from the women. Okay, put yourself in Camille's shoes.
Well,
what?
Designer
his ass
shoes.
in 1978. Are you kidding
word?
me? Look, women, we know. If your husband's a creeper, we know.
Yeah.
But what if
We
you thought?
know.
What if
I
you
think
thought he
that
was
she
just
comes-
getting that extra sex,
That fame, that's sex
like
that
if he
comes
was,
with fame.
yeah.
You think no women in the last 40 years have pulled her aside and been like, your husband, come on,
I think
man.
she comes from a
knows.
different era and breed of women.
That's another thing. Again,
Like
we've
I
been
don't. I think
programmed.
there's a difference. I mean, there's definitely a difference. Like I mean, generationally from women, and I think I would easily say that the generation of women that I'm associated with are not dealing with the same things our grandmothers dealt with,
Well,
or
naturally.
our great grandmothers, or because not only just the progression of women, but just even the institution of marriage is looked at it differently.
Yeah, but
You
there's
guys can't
still
cook either.
but there's still consistency in the type of woman that's out there and who's strong enough to step up and say something.
Mm-hmm.
And
But isn't it
on
strength
behalf
to not say something in a way? Like say.
To watch your fellow woman get abused,
well,
raped.
say it's not in the situation where it's being broadcast on social media, and you hear rumblings about your husband doing something wrong, doing something like being a rapist, straight up. And you make the choice to cover it up to protect your family. You have kids.
I don't think she's
imagine.
even doing that. She's
I'm
not
saying-
saying
I mean,
anything.
Camille didn't rat on him, so he's saying you're saying.
I'm saying that
And
there
that
has
doesn't
to
have
be a
man language. Like it's like
no. There's a level of strength
I guess
associated
I don't
with that.
understand the question.
Or maybe the question is there a level of strength associated with standing by a man like that who's done wrong in an effort to protect your kids?
Or his
there is.
legacy or whatever.
Your legacy.
If
If
she
he-
truly believes that her husband is a rapist I don't think you can stand by that.
Well,
And
let's say
an
a philanderer, an
unapologetic
unapologetic
rapist.
drugger and philanderer.
That's what I'm saying. If that's
Well,
what she
maybe,
believes,
maybe the culture was different.
What
then,
about
and
if
she
he's a
doesn't think
murderer?
of it as a rapist? She thinks of him as being like a.
But that's two different things. Like if you don't believe that he is a rapist, it's not the same things if you know and you identify that he is a rapist and you still stand by it.
I just think something
because I don't
What if he
personally.
knows
I
he
don't.
raped one person?
Okay, listen. I'm just gonna say it like this. I don't think that even though Camille may be knowledgeable, I don't say she's strong or she's weak. I think that she comes from a different generation of women that just is like, this is your husband, and you're supposed to be with your husband no matter what. From the outside looking
But if
in.
your husband's
Just
like a
like there are
super-
women, let me finish. There are women who have been with men generationally years back who have multiple children outside of their marriage. And they know that he's a hoe. They know he's doing X, Y, Z. Everybody else can say whatever they want to say. If you ask her, I love my husband. And there are women to this day, I love my husband.
They've
and that
been
is what
taught.
they do. They've
Okay,
been
so
taught, and
how
that's what
does-
they do. Does that make her strong? Does that make
What
her
I'm
weak? It
saying
doesn't
is
make her
in this- in
anything
this
but that type of
situation,
woman.
In this Camille situation, likely during their marriage, like women were throwing it at him, right?
She
This is
knows
Bill
he's a
Cosby.
hoe.
But I'm saying, so if she's able to deal with that and say, "Oh, women are throwing themselves at him," I guess he'll have like some extracurricular things going on.
Doesn't give you strength because you don't know what her motivation is. Like even if
What if her
even if
motivation
it
is
was-
to keep the family unit, to keep the
Family
kids cool?
together.
and that's fine if that's what she's doing.
That makes
she's
you strong?
not trying to be.
That's what I was
at that point.
asking you guys.
She's
No, I
not
don't
trying to
think so.
protect,
Okay.
Nothing. She's
women right now. She's trying to protect herself and
Herself.
her family. And there's some women out there that are like that, and that's okay. Now, I don't agree with Urbanista in. I do define that as a weak woman.
I
If
do
you are
too.
not going to step up and step out and protect other women around you,
Especially if
by
they're
saying
coming to
something,
you and,
I
like,
deem you
crying.
as weak.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how does the woman
And a little
circle
evil.
form around Camille and women like Camille right now? Do you
I don't
knock
think-
her down? Do you lift her up? How do you speak to the Camille's
I don't
out
know
here?
I
what
think everybody's
Camille
waiting.
What is she
I think
going
everybody's
through?
waiting to see
I don't
what
know
she
what
has to
she's going
say.
through.
Like I read
No,
an
she's
article.
going through. She's going through a home being broken up by something that she
But
didn't
how
do.
do you know he's not doing? I mean, I don't know what's happening behind closed doors.
What
with
if,
her.
what if
We
she?
don't know
Maybe she
right
was
now.
the
That's
connect.
what
Maybe
I'm
she
saying.
was
I
the
can't
plug
say
for the
she's strong
Quaaludes the
or
whole
weak.
time.
She
Maybe
could
she
have
was the
been.
drug dealer.
Maybe
Wait, listen
She
to
wanted to see them
Maybe
hoes naked.
Maybe she did.
Shit.
I don't know. That's why I don't say she's strong or weak because
She
I don't
said,
know
"Bill,
what
give
the
her the drugs.
situation
Give her
is.
the drugs. Put
She
one titty
is-
out.
she's
Put
a real
one titty
cocaine
out, Bill."
cowboy.
She
We
is
don't
definitely
know.
out of the two of them. I mean, if he's not saying anything,
But regardless
she
of the-
damn sure ain't. She's gonna sit there like this the
But
whole time
outside
in
of the
that interview, like you
circumstance,
saw.
outside of the circumstance, you see a woman who's having her family torn
apart.
in public. How do women support a woman like that? Or I mean, no, I'm not saying how. Like, how could you? But I'm saying, what is the step taken by the woman who cares about women?
I think a lot of women are staying really silent right now because we're just real curious as to what she's
See
gonna
what-
say. Nothing's
yes,
happened yet.
exactly.
We can't really say or do anything. I will tell you personally, I think she's 100% a part of the problem as well. There's no way that she did not know. However, I'm gonna reserve my commentary on it until I see what she has to say.
I don't know that she's not a victim, so I can't say
Right.
that she.
Maybe she been
She
drugged
been
this
drugged.
whole
She
time.
was drugged to get married.
He might have a
guarantee
IV. He might
you.
have an
You
IV.
don't
Who
in her
knows?
right
He
now.
could be.
I mean,
Who
she
knows?
does
But
seem
you
a little
don't know.
slow.
But you don't know. I mean,
Oh,
abuse
word.
doesn't. I mean, if he's doing this to people he doesn't know, who knows what he's doing to his
definitely-
wife?
oh, he's
I mean,
manipulating
I don't
and
know.
abusing
You can't
her.
say that
We
he's
don't.
loving his wife, and if he's doing this to people who think that he's their friend,
Well,
and
maybe he gets
has a
all
wife.
his freak stuff out with the strangers, and with his wife, he's like he's Dr. Huxtable. Maybe at home he's Dr.
Maybe.
Huxtable, but when he leave the crib, he get up in that Volkswagen.
Or maybe it's just all a
And
front.
he find,
Okay, so
you know
now,
you got a Volks.
now, all right, Molly, you throw parties.
Yeah, she
right?
turns up. One Love
Toronto,
Massive.
One
you
Love Massive, Dr.
turn up on a very exclusive level, but you get in the space shuttle and turn all the way
Yeah,
up.
expensive at expensive venues.
What?
Just make the point.
And Urbanisa goes to the outdoor go-go.
You find yourself in the right place at the right time. But look, what I'm saying, when something is going on,
Yeah.
at what point in your party mode it's game time?
Yeah.
Do you tap somebody on the shoulder and say something? What do you do as you witness this when you in motion? And you're
Rapey.
seeing
When
something that's kind
something
of like,
rapey
Oh, I
shut up.
100%. You
I
know
have
me.
haven't
no
seen that.
reservation in stepping in and doing something. Absolutely not.
How
Because
do you
a
do that?
Well, what's the situation?
I don't know. Tell me a
I'll
situation
give
where
you a
you've done it. Like, how does
situation,
that work?
You're out somewhere and you see a dude grabbing a girl by her arm and she's like not doing well.
Oh, actually, I'll
and
give
he goes
you
to
an
leave.
example. This was like 3 years ago. I was at a U-Haul picking up boxes because I was about to move. And it was right on New Hampshire Avenue up in like going up to, like the whatever, like New Hampshire going uptown past going into Maryland. And I was getting my boxes and going into the parking lot, and there was like clearly a fight going on. There was a woman and her child in the car, and a man, they were, maybe her boyfriend, whoever. I mean, they were 100% screaming at each other.
Yeah.
He starts punching her in her face.
Oh
Well,
my
this is
God.
different. This is
Okay.
That's domestic. We talking about rapey.
What do you mean?
We're talking about
Okay, so
same
what did you do?
situations.
All right. Damn, cuz Malcolm.
So, I mean, at first I was so shocked. I'm like, I could go over there, but I might get my ass beat too. So maybe what I need to do is go inside. I went inside and told the manager, like, please come outside. Something is happening to the lady. Like a woman's getting beat outside. He was like, we don't want any part of that.
What?
And so I was like, there's a woman outside with a child, maybe 2 children. She's getting beat right now. You don't you're U-Haul.
Yeah, no, that's
Are
totally...
you not going to come outside and do something? And he was like, no, we don't want any parts. It's not our business. That's actually in the parking lot. That we don't even own that land.
But that man might have a gun though.
So I had to. Well,
Well,
he
he's
might.
call the police. Do
He
something.
might. So I had
Fear.
to. I had
Once
to call
again,
the police.
fear has controlled
and all
decisions
those
of
things
men.
ran through my head. I was like, okay, I could call the police. He might see me calling police. He might come and beat my ass. Like so many things. He might follow me. He may take, my license number down. All those
Anything.
things may happen. But could I actually drive away with a conscience? Could I drive away with any kind of conscience and know that woman was being beat like that in that car and not do anything about it, even after I went in there and asked for help?
No, it would be
There
tough
is
for you to
no
drive.
way.
No, however, okay, now the overt nature of a physical ass whooping is much different than the subtleties of
potential
rapey
rapey
stuff.
shit.
So, like, say you're in your party and creepy.
And somebody was getting raped in my party.
I can give you a great example. I'll give you a great example.
I'm not talking about like the overt physical, like give it here. I'm talking about that.
I got a perfect example for you. All right, and this is a dude I did not know and a woman that I do know. She's I don't want to give too much of the information because then everyone will know who she is, but she is disabled in a sense that like she would be easily kidnapped. Okay, all right. And there was this dude who I was just not like. There was just something about dude that was not right, and he was way into her, and I could tell it was weird.
She definitely
and there was
attracts
another girl
rapey
there,
dudes.
and he was manipulating, and I was just peeping this, and it was my own event, and she was at the bar, so I was just peeping at different time. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, dude's not right, and I'm watching. He's moving in on her, and he's like blacked out drunk or something too, but he's like extremely good looking, extremely good looking, really, really well dressed, and like cut up. And like really going, like really trying to get her to leave, right? I'm not trying to tell her that this dude's not interested in you because I don't want to fuck her. I don't want to hurt her feelings up because like she's not always getting hollered at by really hot dudes. So I don't want to make her feel like I'm jealous or messing her shit up. But my maternal instincts are kicking in, and I'm like, this dude is not cool. So you know what I did? I sat next to them and I looked at him.
Yeah, because you know that ain't right.
And I just looked at him, man. I said, "You got some plans?
Right.
What are you trying to do?"
Was she into
and you
it,
know
though?
what? He figured out because every time he turned around, there I was looking at him, just waiting to see what he would do. And you know what? He eventually figured it out, and he made some comments to me outside, and I was like, "Whatever."
Yeah. Now there's power in numbers.
Was she
Because
into
I
it?
knew she was so drunk that. She was into it, but she was like, I don't know what's up with this guy because he keeps talking to me. But then there's this other girl, and so that's when I was like, okay, my feelings are confirmed that
But
there's
he
some
was
weird
blackout,
shit.
though.
And she didn't know. Well, I don't know if he was blackout or just crazy, because you know how you look at people and they just sort of one eye's looking at one eye and the other one looking right past you. He was doing one of those, and he was just. It was just something about, I was like, stranger danger, like the senses went up, and I just felt, and I got rid of him. And it was just not showing fear to him. Now, if it had been a situation where I knew the dude, I'd have absolutely pulled him aside and been like, son, what the fuck are you doing right now?
Yeah.
But I'm a different kind of,
well, no, there's power in numbers.
And I will always approach the men first because typically I'm more one of the dudes than I am one of the girls. So I will be the one to be like, what's on your mind? What are you thinking right now? what are you doing? Or I don't know who you are. I'm not afraid of you. Get the fuck out of my club right now.
Yeah.
Because
God
there
damn.
can't be any leeway. Someone needs to be like, I see you. I recognize what you're doing, and you are not doing that on my watch.
Yeah.
And
Was
too
I
often it's
when I
encouragement rather than intervention.
right? And am I
like
scared
a-
when that happens? Absolutely. Does that enter my mind and stop me? Absolutely not.
Well,
Because
as a
someone has to
man,
be strong.
I think that that's a good idea. I think the power in numbers thing for a woman, because see, this is what a man whose game is tight does. He messes with who messes with him.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah,
if
that's
the girls
what I think.
intercept, then he'd go off and chill, but then the girl's gonna make her way
Right.
Back,
like
yeah,
back. Yeah, and
yeah.
then that's green light time.
And that's what I was saying with
Yeah,
like
but
it's
that's
really
a man with
obvious.
self-confidence,
Oh,
and there's not a lot of that out there.
But I'm saying that's what I'm saying. It's
Trying to
really
get
obvious. Like if a girl's into you, like she'll do the things. Like she'll do the things.
But
Like,
here's the thing: we're
she'll
not
do the
talking
wrong
about
thing.
those scenarios. We're talking about the
No.
other scenarios. Those are obvious situations because they
Right.
are obviously into
And
it.
9
It's-
out of 10, you knew that before she got to that point. If
Right.
she's that into you, it's not like, oh, she just came over out the blue and now she's just open. Like, you've had some conversations or some interactions at some point, and now you're there and she's already told you or gave you some indication that she is interested in you in that way before she got wasted.
Right.
Well,
That's completely different.
I like to hold white people accountable for racist white shit. And I want you to go holler at your white people.
Yeah.
I think that men should holler at their men.
At their rapey friends.
For rape shit. Yeah, I think that's like should be like kind of a standard
In general,
that goes on.
In general, men need to hold each other accountable because it's not like we know. It's not like little like bubble above the dude's head. It's like, oh, I'm a rapist.
It's,
like,
it's subtle.
I don't think men do that in general, though.
changing the
What do you
conversation.
guys hold each other accountable
for
for?
being stank, not being fresh, not having paper,
Right.
being a whack dude, not having ambition, not having your shit together, not being on time, being unorganized, like
Have
shit
you
like
Nothing
that.
as it
as men,
relates
have
to
you guys-
women.
Or being like thirsty, like yo, dog, you're thirsty as shit.
trying
Stop
too hard.
chasing this girl for 2 hours.
Have
She
you
going
all-
upstairs. She don't want to follow. You know.
Yeah.
I have a
I
question
say that all the
for
time
the
to
men.
thirsty dudes.
Have you ever held a dude being accountable for like being unfaithful or like wilding out like a
If he's married,
Really?
Yeah.
If someone's married and they make their independent decision to cheat, you hold that dude accountable?
be like, dude, you got a good woman, man. Don't fuck that up. You tripping. Go
Really?
home.
This
I totally done
you
that.
don't do that ever.
I've done
I believe
that.
him. I believe him.
know him.
I've done that.
I believe him.
married?
Well,
I
he-
can see that being a
I
situation.
can see that. I mean,
Really?
there's got to be a. Here's
I'm
the
not
thing.
saying that it's not
We're
good
not
to do
all
that.
stand-up
I can see you
comedians.
doing
Everything
that.
can't be funny all the time. Like at some point, you need to be like, "Yo, not cool." Kind of cross the line on that one. Like, reel it back in, homie. Maybe you shouldn't cheat on your wife. You got a couple kids. Like, what's really going on? The next conversation should be, "What's really going on?"
Yeah.
What's
'Cause
happening with
cheating
you?
is a
Because
symptom.
I feel like that's what
Yeah.
all bad behavior stems from, right? Is lack of understanding and acceptance.
There's a motivation
and-
behind it.
right? There's you know,
Unless you just were a hoe before you even got married.
You might have been a hoe.
That happens too.
But you were still a hoe for a reason.
right.
And then it might turn into, hey, look, you need to stop cheating on her 'cause it's gonna cost you.
Yeah, then it just becomes logical.
It's gonna
Like,
cost
yo,
you.
you get caught up in this,
out here
dog.
too.
Straight.
Yo, real quick, like you were saying something about rape culture now and how it's like encourages rape and contributes to these things happening. But I was just curious to know what your position was about how things used to be like in Bill Cosby's era, how the rape culture has shifted because now you can't really talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But before that, and then you
Well, it
could say,
wasn't rape then. It was like exploring your sexuality and
Yeah,
freedom,
yeah.
and it was about free to be you and me, right? Like it was all about loving each other and accepting and
Which
black
you can
and
still
white
do.
and like the civil rights movement. Like it was it was more about loving and accepting and like let your freak flag fly. If you want to
Yeah.
have sex with a bunch of dudes, do that. It's a totally different and people did a lot of drugs. People, but people are still doing drugs. I don't even understand why
Yeah.
people have this like idea that in the 70s people did more drugs because the 70s drugs kind of suck. Real
Nah,
talk.
but
Like, we got
Quaaludes
way
were
more
popping.
drugs,
Yo,
way
they had the-
more of them now. I don't even know.
That's
Everybody's
the
on
varieties.
drugs.
Pink
Everybody's
pills,
on drugs
purple
all day.
pills,
They
fuchsia
take
pills.
shit for antidepressant. I want to quit smoking. I'm gonna take this. I got a
Chantix.
headache. I'm gonna take this. I need to do some schoolwork. I'm gonna take this. You talking
Adderall.
about 70s being a drug culture?
I'm saying them
Shit.
Quaaludes were running
Shit.
things, dog. They put Quaaludes in punch and said, "Here's some punch,"
Man,
and
I
you was
told
like,
him
"Okay,
a
I
story
like
on
this
the break
punch."
about the one time we all took Quaaludes. We was like 4 of us. We're like, yeah, we got these 70s drugs. We take these Quaaludes. We took them. We woke up 8 hours later in the same place with our drinks just sitting on it.
Damn.
That's because they had no cocaine.
And we were like, no, that was
So
really
that's
boring.
an interesting point too, because I
In the
think earlier in the
same
conversation,
position.
in the earlier conversation, or maybe it was before we got on the show, conversations I've had, like people saying, oh, well, giving a girl a Quaalude is the same thing as like buying drinks and weed. Like,
it's not.
I think it's a little more serious.
If you took a
Quaalude?
if we all took a Quaalude in 30 minutes, we would all be trying to sleep. Like, it is not, like...
Yeah, I would think
Grindstone be up.
Like, if I give somebody a crack rock, it's not this, like...
Well, let me tell you this. When I was in high school, I was looking for Spanish Fly when I went down to Tijuana.
What is that? What is Spanish Fly even?
I don't know.
Is it a real
but
thing?
I was looking for that shit.
Is it a real
Is
thing?
date rape?
I don't know, but
see,
it
to
sounds-
me, like, the memory of Spanish Fly was like something that would, like, ecstasy. Like, not like it would knock her out and make her unable
like it would
to
get poppin'.
resist. It would mean that she would really be
like
into
the
you.
Beastie Boys used to rap about it, and so I was like, man,
Tone Loc.
sounds dope. Right, yeah, the Funky Cold Medina.
Cold Medina.
10 times platinum.
Oh, that was about something.
That was about
nasty?
something like that?
That was about the. Oh, what's the 2?
That was her name. I didn't know. Like Funky Cold Medina.
Do we have any final thoughts before we wrap up the show tonight?
Yeah, Kevin.
I got one.
Don't rape.
Don't rape.
Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby. You could be funny, but you're also rapey, and you're a rapist. So fall back. Also, if you need like fly gear, holla at my girl, Constantina at trunkclub.com. That's with a K. Constantina at trunkclub.com. Boom.
Boom. I got a final thought. Err on the side of compassion. You know, if you weren't there, if you're not involved, don't say anything. Pretend whenever you have an opinion about Cosby or R. Kelly or any of this, pretend that you're sitting in a room with 10 women who were raped in the last 2 weeks. And if you were cool with saying that in front of those women, then you're probably okay with saying it. And if not, then don't say it, because it's risk versus reward. If you're right about Bill Cosby and you say all this really insensitive shit about rape around all these people that you know, all you're gonna do is alienate your community and your circle of friends and your peer group. And if you're wrong about Bill Cosby, and if you're right about Bill Cosby, all you did was give some man, a rich man, a nod who's never gonna know about it.
Yeah.
So don't worry about Bill Cosby. Don't defend Bill Cosby right now. Err on the side of compassion and know that every woman you know, if she's over 30, she was either beaten, molested, raped, fucked with, or felt unsafe for a majority of her life. So just err on the side of compassion and be the change. If you're not a lawyer, if you weren't there, maybe just say, man, that really sucks, and I'm sorry. Keep it moving. You know?
And where could they find your fly shit, though?
Yes.
OneLoveMassive.com.
And you see people rocking them DC as fuck joints? Yeah.
Every day,
that's
DC
right
as
here.
fuck. OneLoveMassive.com.
DC as fuck,
That's
Slim.
right. Hashtag.
Give me that shmoney.
We got to wrap it up. I guess we're not hearing from Grindstone or Urbanista tonight. We got to wrap it up real quick. You got 10 seconds.
I took off
Stay fabulous.
Don't rape.
Don't rape people. That's
Check
all,
your
I guess.
homies.
Yeah, word.
And step in when you need to. Some people need to be checked sometimes. Wrapping it up on the Ash Dorado Show. We'll be right here next week from 8 to 10 p.m. Tuesdays. Hit us up on social media at Ash Dorado. Signing off tonight.
Asherato. It's Asherato, going worldwide. Now call me up and we'll talk for a while. If you want to keep it simple and hear the tea, believe me, this is the place to be. Excuse you, you crazy for real. Excuse you, you crazy for real. Real chica say word. Asherato.